Welcome back to Humbro Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we are back again for another event of the One Piece Store Tournament at Lifelink Games. Guys, I am so excited to be able to come to you guys with the amazing content we have today. I got some awesome deck lists that I can't wait to go over. Some really cool bring back fantasy backs. Like I was seeing so many of these new older decks. The older decks using newer cards, seeing so much play on this amazing meta. Like, it's something that I've been actually having a lot of conversations with a lot of my friends over Discord and other social media platforms about how everyone felt like the power creep was just kind of knocking your decks off. And I'm not going to disagree that there are certain decks that certainly made certain metas unplayable. I mean, Emu definitely made a lot of different decks completely unplayable because the deck was just too consistent. There's other decks out there that feel like when they come around, these things are just too powerful. And Nell was creating a very weird, toxic type of meta for a while there because it was becoming like one of the few decks you could play outside of the luck sack that is yellow decks that you can put out there. And I gotta say, like, there's one of the things that we've seen evolving from our current meta and evolving from certain things with people playing those decks is that people are finding new ways to get around those cards, some new ways to answer those cards. We're being blessed with a game that likes to come out with new cards that help counter certain strategies, sometimes within the same color, but sometimes also it's outside of the color. Things like double attack helping against the life gain, banish helping against the triggers from life. You have things that are they're really good about like trying to rush in because a lot of things like to set for the turn. So if you play a heavy rush deck, you can get rid of those green decks that like to just constantly rest things and put you in a disadvantage. You got things that answer the bounce effects or the removal effects that you can do to stop all the nonsense with blue. There's so many things you can do against the draw engines you have from people. A lot of cards where you can do some hand hate, add some cards that won't force your opponent to discard, cards that take cards right out of their hand and just terrify them. And all of them not leader locked. There are all these cards in different colors that can definitely help you in certain situations if you look at the meta as a whole and see what is the deck doing and how is it trying to accomplish its goal. And with that, we've seen a great amount of people playing some really cool off meta type cup stuff that are actually doing really, really well. Uchiha says, because Bandai wants the game to be both fun and competitive, it isn't exclusively catering to the competitive circuit. And that's absolutely true. You can play your old fan favorites. You can try to tweak them. I've seen people who've been playing out their decks for years, bring those things back, tweak it a little bit, add a few cards to kind of help out, and bam, boom. Now they're starting to win some games against some of these very good competitive decks that the locals happen to be bringing on a regular basis. And Bandai does a really good job in the most case for trying to fix those things. I think that they finally showed face when it came to Gundam, especially with the new set that's released this weekend. Super excited to have that. Going live with that, we're gonna have all kinds of cool stuff to give away. Massive money. This is an anniversary weekend, so that's gonna be huge. You've got, of course, we got the Starter decks coming right around the corner for One Piece. That's dramatically gonna change all the things that we know about this game and dramatically change like what's going to be meta, and it's going to shake up things until OP17 arrives. Now when OP17 arrives, will a lot of those leaders be overpowered? Abso-frickin-lutely. Will they be played a lot? Abso-frickin-lutely. All of us are going to be wanting to play the new stuff. What is a good, what's the most consistent, what do I think is going to be the greatest deck out there? Because a lot of us are also preparing for the new Flame through Cup that happens in September, just 1 month after the release of OP17. So not only we have an anniversary set with One Piece, massive value in cards, these boxes are going to guarantee skyrocket up to ridiculous prices. If you can get your hands on one box and you want to keep it sealed to have something in the investment for your future, these are the boxes to do it. Don't do it in multiplications, don't do it enough to take the stuff off the market, but you can do something nice where you can get a single box and put it on a collection, put it on a shelf, and then sit on that and say, hey, when my kids go to college, they'll have something to retire on with right there. I mean, it's a great way for you to get your investment back and all the money you're probably going to be spending on this new anniversary set. Because if you're like me, I'm going to be trying to get as much of that product as I possibly can. This one's probably going to be the one I go the hardest on when it comes to One Piece decks. I had a question last week. All right, Jimmy D, how many boxes do you get per set? Now, because I play so many different games, I have to limit how much I spend on all the games because I got to keep a fair balance. It's not possible for me to spend the thousands and thousands of dollars to keep up with all the different sets and try to build master sets or trying to chase after all these things. So I'm very, very fickle when it comes to how much I get into. I'll buy one box. I'll have that for a box tournament, and you guys will see it live on screen. I'll have maybe one box where I get to open my privacy to my own, just to enjoy the product, or sit with my girlfriend and open up some really cool cards and celebrate with her. Or then I'll have just one where I just sit on it, and I'll just, if I can, because sometimes I really don't even get that much. Sometimes I just use my third box for the community box, and I give that third box all out to you guys. But when it comes to this anniversary set, I'm going to be going all in. I'm going to be spending as much time as I can to try and get some of these boxes while they're at their cheapest, because I know darn well that unlike these boxes that are ridiculously at $240, which is way too much for this box, they're not going to be $500-$600, which is the common theme we've seen for anniversary set boxes. If you guys go back to OP13, go back into, I want to say OP07, which is the white set. It was it was the white box one in that era of sets, but that one was like the first anniversary set that we got. It obviously was the second anniversary for Japan, but it took a while to get the game. I digress. The point is that anniversary box now is one of the most expensive boxes you can possibly get. Why? They go all out with those amazing mangas. They have massive value. We've already seen what the Luffy leader is going to look like. That one's going to be easily in the 10Ks of rarity and very unlikely to get pulled, but we'll see if they're going to do a god pack. They usually do god packs in these things, which are awesome. I mean, the one from 13 was absolutely insane. You got all the elders in it, and those things just absolutely look stellar, and it was locked to the god pack to get those special printings of them, and that thing was like $2,000 for a god pack. It was very rare, it's very uncommon, but because it exists, because they have those cards that are going to be selling for thousands of dollars, that means the boxes will likely skyrocket in value. That is how the market works. Whether it makes sense to you or I about how much I can possibly even get out of this box, no, it doesn't, because when it gets that high, your ratio of actually getting your money back in return kind of stinks, kind of goes all the way downhill. That sucks, but understand patterns, understand what happens, and if you can learn from those patterns and behave as well, this is the opportune time for you to get invested in the game while it's at its cheapest before it gets out of control. And then you're sitting like me looking at the market going, I can't afford any of this. I want to get a Heroines box. I ain't spending that kind of money. I want to get myself a PRB box. Can't afford that kind of money. I want to get some of those anniversary boxes. I love those boxes. They're great. Can't afford that. It just these and not only that, I also have a fundamental rule about investing in things. So I don't go into buying from scalpers. I think it's something that you guys should also take into consideration. Don't buy from scalpers. If your store scalps, try not to encourage that. If you can, dissuade them by not going and doing whatever you can to speak with your wallet. Your LGS may actually start bringing it down. I really don't like it when I see LGSs that are marking up too high for these boxes. I understand they're trying to make their profit at our on season or our off season. I'm not a big fan of it. Lifelink has proven, if anything, to all game stores, if you're capable of selling at that value, making sure the gamers get the boxes, not the scalpers, the gamers, the people that support your store, get those prices and get those boxes at an adequate price, you build your community, people start playing, they're like, oh, if I can want to get that box of that value, I had to play, yes. And now you have more players, and now they're buying singles, and now they're buying snacks, now they're buying other things. These things just kind of like pile upon each other, guys. And on top of that, once you start doing that, Bandai might look out for you, give you more allocation than what you're normally used to getting, and you can sell more of those boxes at MSRP, which is still profit. It's not as much profit, but if you think about it, it's long-term profit versus short-term profit. You sell these boxes in LGS, you put it at market value because you think that's what everyone's buying it for, and you don't want the scalpers to get it anyways. Do your due diligence to stop the scalpers from buying your product. That's on you. You could easily do that, easily limit to one box per person, easily cut the wrapping on these things, easily do other things to dissuade them from coming into your shop and doing that, and give discounts to people who play the game like we do during release weekends. All those things go ways away from making sure that most people that buy your product, if not all the people that buy your product, are not scalpers. That's what you want. You don't want the scalpers. You don't want them ruining that product because they're ruining the game, the thing that you exist for, the thing that you are there to bring the customers into play. That way you get more promos, you get better tournaments, you get more people showing up for those events. Those people buy singles, those people buy, it's how the game is played. I know that I don't get a lot of people watching the store or like that they're opening stores that understand this, but if you can look at it as a long-term investment into your community, and people can get that through their thick head and stop selling at market and start giving it at the MSRP, allowing people to get this product as it is, sit on 2 boxes yourself if you want, and then re-release it 2 years later and say, hey, this is the case because it's well past the printing, no one's going to complain. But if you want just sell it to the people, you'll get more product. With more product, you sell more of it, more of those boxes sell, you're making even more money. You want to keep scalping, you're going to lose players, you're going to lose sales on those singles, you're going to lose sales on your snacks and everything else. You're going to lose a lot of the space and stuff and wonder why you're even running a space. We've got an LGS locally around here that I'm convinced is going to be an online store here soon because they're screwing over their people so much when it comes to pricing. I'm not going to name any names. It's not about drama, but I'm telling you, this is the kind of nonsense that will drive you away. And I'm seeing it. They can't fire events. No one's showing up. The big tournaments, they have people showing, maybe 5-6 people showing up for those big tournaments. These are ones with good money on the line, but people are so against that store, they're not willing to show up. So what's happening? They can't afford to pay their employees. They can't afford to pay for the other things. They start justifying and double down to saying, we have to charge these prices because we can't afford to do anything. You put yourself in that situation when you decided that you needed to chase the fad of the market that happens to be heavy on TCGs right now. Guys, it's gonna bubble. It's gonna happen. There's gonna get a point where the people with the money are not gonna be making enough money, or something else, some fad is gonna distract the attention of all these crypto bros, and they're gonna jump on that bandwagon as fast as you can say cheese, and they're gonna be leaving all the rest of us with the money with saying, why is this $550 but no one's paying for it? Because the money was in the crypto bros. It was being chased around at the top. Those guys were pushing it. In some cases, the product's worth that much. In a lot of cases, the product is not worth that much, especially in something that's brand new that just came out. And we're going to talk about some finances here in a little bit. I'm going to talk to you and review over some of the things I'm seeing, and hopefully give you guys some crucial advice when it comes to TCGs. Because when it comes to this, do I think that the bubble is going to mean that the end of it? No, this isn't the housing market. This isn't big bankers screwing a bunch of people over. This is the crypto brothers playing with their own crypto money, throwing the money around, making the hobby pretty popular, and some people winning, some people losing on the value train. But eventually the money's going to start drying out. They're going to realize they're selling to each other, and then realize they're going to say, you know what, we're just going to jump out because we've invested in this card saying it's worth $2,000. And anyone with a basic sense of math and understands supply and demand says that card's not $2,000. This is not a prize card that it has 164 in existence. This is something that has 7,000 in existence, and you're just making up these numbers because you saw Luffy on the cover and said, oh, well, if it has Luffy on it, then it must be good. I digress. Long tangent, but I think you guys are getting what I'm trying to say. That when it comes to the way that you need to treat your customers, it has been rewarding to Chris over and over again at Lifelink Games to sell at MSRP, get the product to you guys, and I hope that you guys can come out to our shop and check out the newest OP17. It won't last long. Nature Zone, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Don't forget, if I haven't actually said this out to you yet because you're probably first time here, if you're wondering what's on the chat, everyone's exclamation point join. The reason they're doing that is because every single time I go live, I give away free packs. I'm always giving away free stuff. This costs you absolutely nothing. It doesn't even cost you shipping and handling, as long as you're not overseas. If you're over in Europe and stuff, then we got other. I have other situations and programs for those guys. But if you're in the States, it's absolutely free. All it takes is an exclamation point join in the chat, and at the end, I'll spin the wheel and we'll open up the packs, and the contents are yours. Beautiful thing. This is a community box, so every pack in this box goes to you. Nothing gets taken out. All the hits go to you. If I get the manga, I'm clipping the hell out of that, and I'm going to make sure that I get that thing as going as viral as possible, because that means I just gave away a $1,000 card for free for being here and checking out my stream. So thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Uchiha says, one Discord I'm in that won't be named is a Gundam channel that isn't anywhere near as active as Lifelink. Yes, I've seen a lot of people doing some nasty stuff when it comes to Gundam. When it comes to starter decks, they're overpriced in the starter decks. They're overcharging for the boxes. They're making it impossible for people to get the product. And when you do that, people don't want to play at your store. It's just that simple, guys. You are a store first. You're there for the community. You're not there for the scalpers. You're not there. If you want to make your money, you make it in the singles. You make it in the stuff that you can that people trade in, or stuff that you pull yourself and you sell on the market if you happen to get lucky to pull something. But if you're a store owner, you're also smart enough to know that opening up a bunch of singles is not a great success story in making sure you're gaining money every single time. It is awesome for you to have product. It is important that you have product so people can buy the cards to get the stuff that they need. But anybody who's been doing this long enough, me included, for over 30 plus years of playing card games, the value return on opening most of these boxes is almost always at about 70% ratio going to be less than what you spent to get if you just buy box after box after box. Now, Will you get lucky and get awesome? Yeah, there's 30% chance you're going to skyrocket to the moon. You're going to get an SP that's going to pay for 4 boxes. You're going to get a manga that's going to pay for an entire case. You're going to have a chance to get some really awesome stuff. But as it goes with investment, when you buy those packs, in a way, you are kind of gambling. And I say in a way. And I want to be very specific because there's all those people out there saying, oh, this is gambling. It has a sense of gambling. It has the endorphins of gambling. But at the end of the day, you still end up with something. And in that case, it is not gambling. If I still end up with game pieces that I can clearly trade to somebody, I can sell to somebody, I can give to somebody or do something with, I still have something at the end of the day, I'm not gambling. If I'm gambling in the way that I see it, obviously through the definition, you can definitely say gambling because you're taking a chance to get something of higher value. Yes, that is included. But when I'm talking about people with the gambling addicts, the gambling problems, those people are the individuals that will put $300 on a baseball game and lose all of it. And then they'll go in debt and they'll spend $500 and lose all of it. And then you don't get anything with gambling on sports. You don't get anything with gambling at the casino. You don't get anything outside a couple of endorphin hits and probably a loss of wallet because the house always wins. And when it comes to this card game, the house is technically always winning so long as the game is fun to play and they can still keep it going. But the house doesn't always win because the value of these things is nothing of value to the house. The house doesn't say, I'm giving away $1,000. The house said I've spent what, $1 on this pack to create it. And on that $1, they bought it. I made money back, so I'm happy. And said pack happened to have a $1,000 card on the aftermarket, which has nothing to do with the house. So these guys are just making sure that one, the supply is limited enough to make the value sit up that high to entice people to want to get into the card game, but they're also giving you game pieces. So at the end of the day, you still have something for your investment, whether it be something you can play with, whether it's something you want to trade, something you want to sell back to the store. You will always end up with something at the end of that enjoyment. And on top of that, you get the joy of being able to play the game, which essentially is why we're here, guys. We're here to play the game. We want to. It's a lot of fun. This is why we invest all this money in the game in the first place, because it's fun. We want to be here. The Big O says, exclamation point, join. Yo, I'm joining on YouTube as well as Donald Oliver. Gotcha, the Big O. Gotcha. Got you all over here, all bossness. And thank you for the heads up, just in case the chat doesn't come over here on YouTube. But yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. This is going to be the financial part of my stream before we get into the 3 rounds. Yes, we are back to 3 rounds, sadly. I do apologize. This is all the content I can get right now until I can go into a full-time mode where I can take time to record on my own and do some really cool stuff. But while I'm doing this as kind of like my 4th job that I do all in my life, I don't have the time to get any more recording than what is allotted to me at Lifelink Games. So we only have 3 games today. But still, 3 amazing games and 3 awesome things that I can't wait to show you. So, I digress. We're going to get into the singles. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to tell you guys some ideas of where you guys should be investing. First and foremost, if you guys have been a long-time follower of this channel and been watching this content for a while, you'll know when it comes to investing on these things, I'm not an investor, bro. I cannot be held responsible how you spend your money. But disclosure here, I'm not responsible for how you spend your money. That's the disclosure. Let's end it there. Clip that, send it, and have that be the permanent disclosure. I'm trying to tell you how I would spend my money. If you want to follow suit, that's on you. Disclosure over. Here's the deal. When a set comes out during the first couple weeks, FOMO pricing, don't invest. Buy boxes if you can get them at a good price. Buy packs if you can get them at a good price. Get the cards, collect them, store them, sort them. Try to get yourself a collection of 4 of every single card. After that 2 weeks, sometimes 3, prices start to actually settle because everyone's in the market. People are putting the cards in the market. Now we're seeing that there's not a shortage. There's close to hundreds of thousands of these cards out there. People have them. They're willing to sell them. They want their money back. Whatever. They've got extra they want to sell to you. When those prices tank, and they will tank on everything, they will tank. They drop. This is the time for you to get invested, and what you should be doing is what I've been telling everyone since the dawn of this channel. Get 4 copies of every single card at its lowest rarity. You don't need to invest in alt arts unless you really care about this deck, or you care about that character, or you care about some like part of your collection. That, go ahead, do your thing. But the most important thing you should be doing as a player is getting a play set of 4 of every single card. In Magic the Gathering, that's near impossible. I hate it. It's disgusting. It's difficult to do and too expensive to do. But at least in all Bondi card games, getting 4 copies of every single card is relatively cheap. It's relative, like right now in the OP16 meta market right now, this is the time to buy your singles. This is the time to get into it. And almost all things that you might want to speculate on, OP16 is hot and ripe to pick up everything. Get a master list, get 4 copies of every single card from every single deck, because you never know. They might print a leader in your color that you really want to play, but because you weren't playing that color during the OP16 format, you didn't care, and now that card's important. Now you need it. And you don't want to be in that situation playing the card game where now you need the card, but you can't get it, and it's skyrocketed from $1 to $15 to $20, and now you're paying out the rim with cards that you may have just thrown away because the pack didn't have a hit in it, which is what I see a lot of players do. They just throw the packs away. Stop doing that, by the way. Hang on to those. If anything, hang on to the rares. Sometimes the uncommons and commons are important, but don't throw the packs away. If you guys have a community box, put it in a community box and make sure that the rest of the people who are trying to build their play sets can also grab theirs. And that way those kids can get the play set of 4 so they have their collection to play whatever deck might happen in the future. All right. So let's get into today's market watch. So we have right now a pretty healthy market, a lot of changes, a lot of things going up, mostly in the up and green, which is what we're going to be seeing for most card games for the near future, and after the bubble bursts, probably about 2 years afterwards again. So one of the things that I do want to remind everybody, even if we do see a burst, the market does correct itself and fix and go back up as a regular kind of wave curve, as I've seen it for the last 30 plus years. There'll be a downturn. There'll be the time for players to rejoice, get all the product they want, open the packs they want, hopefully save those packs, because when the market comes back, everyone's going to be wanting those first edition copies, those super pre-release copies of things, the ultra hard to get volume 1 stuff, or the volumes that came out during that down period. If you guys were playing One Piece back in the early day, no one was playing it. Cards are worthless. You had the biggest chase card you could possibly get was worth maybe $200 for a manga. It's now thousands of dollars for a manga. If you wanted to get some cards, they were dirt cheap. People were hanging out. They were tossing these promo cards at you left and right because they thought you liked it. And they were $10 at the time. Now they're $300. This is the kind of stuff that happens with the market. Time will cause a later demand, and so long as the game is surviving, it's going to be doing pretty well. The cards are going to go up in value. So with that in mind, DeBigo says, that's what happened with the Perona. I got mine for $2. Now it's $20. That is exactly what I'm talking about, DeBigo. You got the SR Peronas, got ready for it. Now Mihawk's back in the business with the new Star Deck around the corner, and suddenly now it's a $20 card. And something that you're going to be wishing you had come the market switch if you were one of those people that wants to play Mihawk or the new Shanks around from OP17. It's a doubly good investment because Perona in that situation, I think, is... And are you talking about the Searcher Perona, or are you talking about the SR mid-game Perona at $20? I think the Searcher's at $20 too. Maybe they're both at 20, but I know they're both hot demand here. Where is my chat? Sorry, trying to fix my YouTube chat here. All right, here we go. Got it. Sorry, just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody on YouTube. So one of the things, the market watchers, what do you guys want to look into? Marshall D. Teach, top decliner. This is exactly what we expected to see, but this means this is the opportunity to pick this thing up. I'd like to see the secret rare get down to about 15, but there's no say to because this isn't leader locked, kind of like some of the other cards we've seen in the past, this will likely go down. Sai says both are up a lot. Yes, actually, thank you very much for that, Sai. Yes, both being up just makes sense because, like I said, Mihawk is right around the corner as being the true winner of the new Star Deck, especially on what we know about the card releases. Obviously, Zoro is going to be something you can play if you want to, but Mihawk is really the big winner when it comes to this next set. And I think those cards are also going to be potentially good in Shanks, given we see a lot of slash effects in the Shanks deck that we're still waiting to see all the cards for. All right, we get back into it. This is perfect. Like here, down 48%, down 50%. These are the numbers that you want to be investing. If for any reason you think that you like this character or want to invest in this in the future, this is the opportune time to get yourself on these alt arts. $16 for this Kinemon. You guys realize that Heroine's right around the corner, right? We got Heroine's 5. Do you know who Heroine is? Yamato. Do you know what Yamato is doing right now? All this is the last known Yamato deck. So what do you think the next Yamato card is probably going to be? Something that actually helps with the graveyard, something that helps with some more attacks and helps improve the Yamato deck that exists right now. There's a good chance for it, and easy to see some cards in black that absolutely make that deck even more incredibly difficult to deal with outside of the mana. I'll talk about that later, but there is a way to handle the Yamato deck if it's in a problem to you guys. Figured out its weakness about playing with it, believe it or not. We've got Bad Manners Kick Course on the rise. This would have been a great pickup before you saw it at like $10, maybe $12, because everyone was just kind of like, oh, who needs this? Well, anyone with red decks. This is a really good red zero cost for 3K. Anything that plays with no counter, this is a really good card. These zero costs are always really, really good investments, and the alt art for this I knew was going to be pretty hot. I picked up 2 myself at the $10 range. Happy to see it now down to up to 30 in the range here. This one right here, the Kung Fu Jugen, I think is a really big funny thing. I think this has something to do with a buyout that I'm watching, because if you can see here in one of the old searches, this pre-release stamp has a near mint at 250. So what we're seeing is a massive buy market. These people trying to match up to this. So what you're seeing on this market here with this $9 is just people trying to pick it up and resell it because this number scared the crap out of them. All this really is, honestly, are people that are trying to put their money on the market to there's a lot of money laundering, believe it or not, involved with this. It's kind of complicated to go over in detail, but a lot of people that put the posts like this are doing 3 things. One, they're money laundering to show the value of their things so they can justify the money that's coming into their bank account, because they have this value for this one thing that they don't even have to prove exists in their collection. Then you have this idea of where I'm going to mark the high number here, so if I end up being the last person in the market like these 2 people were, someone might actually pick it up for $250, and then suddenly I have $250 right here for this card that I was just sitting there that I didn't want to sell. I just wanted to see if it ever got there, and suddenly it got bought out, and now I have the $250. And the third thing is you've got some overzealous crypto bros thinking they figured something out, and they're trying to buy out all the pre-release Kung Fu Jugens so people will think that this is the actual value. That way, if one of them sells at $250, they can go into the stores with their collection of Kung Fu Jugens and sell it at 70%, but make a killing on a card that's really worth $10. You guys get that? Understand that in the market? Understand how that works? Anytime you see that, obviously don't invest, don't buy in that stuff. That's just kind of a waste of time. But when it comes down to what you should be investing in, what cards you should be looking into, I like the alt arts from OP16. I think right now is like the perfect buy time because we've hit kind of rock bottom for most of these alt arts here. 65 cents for a Sakazuki that's being seen play in so many different purple decks. Perfect time to get your play set. Pick up 4 as soon as you can. This $1.74 for Julie Bonnie even seems the lowest I've ever seen this. This is still going to be good if they go back to Egghead at any time. Excellent. $1.81 for this Yamato that used to be $15 SR. Absolutely pick these things up. We got down to $3.64. Not as low as I want it to be. It should be $2. Should be $2. But $3.64 is not a bad price for a Prisoner of Zen Impel Down. So if you want to pick up your 16 copies of this just to maximize the amount you would want in a deck, this is probably more in the time that you'd want to get involved with the market and try to pick up as many of these as absolutely possible. Here, our top movers here, obviously Monkey Luffy is always at the top. Big money here. Goldie Roger, this is another one of the big ones that you got from the anniversary set. So obviously this one's gonna be pretty big. This was a very hard card to pull. Was this OP 09? Yep. 09, one of the big anniversary sets here. This thing was absolutely fantastic. Still a staple today. Still a great win con. This gold card, fantastic. 30,000 does not surprise me. This is what I expect to see from Monkey D. Luffy Leader after the same amount of time has passed. I mean, this has been out for like, what, 2 years almost? So give Monkey D. Leader 2 years, and you'll probably see it sitting somewhere around this price quite easily. Out there. See what else we got. SP, obviously, for the nice little silver and gold edition from here. Tony Chopper is ever increasing to the point I'll never be able to afford this manga. I really gotta have to like win the lottery or something, or get this channel to blow up to be like as big as somebody else's, but I don't know if this will ever be in my price range. Monkey Luffy Gold Leader here, SP, beautiful. Perona, makes sense. This one's getting a whole lot of extra looks here because a lot of people are buying the Perona stuff here. And of course we do have the Heroines coming around the corner, so expected to see some extra cards to help this Perona out in the Heroines edition. Charlotte Pudding, same thing. Of course, the other manga here for Tony Chopper, always getting out of range here. The Marshall to Teach SPs, those climbing up, not too surprising. And top decliners. Mostly because there's a lot of money in them, are we seeing these as top decliners? Because this really isn't much in the namesakes of things, guys. I wouldn't say this was even a shot in the barrel, to be honest with you. So, good time to be getting in here. Let's see what we got. 124 from Monkey Luffy. Great time to pick up 4 of these. Boa. This is so underrated. This one, if anything, as time goes on, this one is definitely going to be one of my picks for SRs that are going to skyrocket into the $15 zone. So if you don't have a playset of Boa, you're messing with yourself. This card is too good, unblockable, freezing a card on turn. This card is going to be absolutely insane. And if they ever do some more 7 Warlords in green, this is going to be an absolutely nutty card for you to invest in. Nami's rare, obviously easy to pick up now at 54 cents. If Yamato gets crazier, this will go back up. Sakazuki at 65 cents, awesome pickup here. $1.05, this is criminal. This is criminal that it is this cheap. This card should be in all of the red decks. Just to let you guys know, I just bought 3 alt arts here at 20 bucks for this Edward Newgate, because I truly believe this is going to be the card you're going to need to answer in today's meta. With all the different yellow coming out, the strength of yellow coming out, you're going to need things that enable double attack, and this ability stacks. You can have multiple copies out. Your leader could be as high as 9 to 10 with 2 of them out. And double attack. Taking your opponent gains a couple life last turn. Okay, we'll immediately erase all that gain right there. 1 attack, bam, gone. Now I'm back where I was, square one again. And you don't have to invest anything. This is just during your turn. So it's every single turn. This is your leader's gonna get jumped up with no dawn investment and have the most lethal, most threatening attack, given it has double attack. This being $1, yeah, get 4 of these. Yes, pick up 4 of these. Who's selling 4? Nobody here, but 39 pages of sellers. I'm sure you're gonna find somebody. Pick up and get 4 copies of it. Buggy, 85 cents, another criminal one, because there is my speculation the blue deck is going to be Buggy. So if anything, there's probably going to be something here with Buggy being some massive good player in the blue deck that we have nothing to know about yet. I have seen some great theories about it being the was it the Knights for Emu there. Could be, makes sense. Could even technically be another Emu if you really think about it. Could be another Emu set in itself. Now not playing with the Saints, but playing with the Knights. Who knows? Could be St. Garland. I'm thinking based on the themes that you're seeing with all the Warlords being the king, the headliners for all the decks. Edward Newgate, Monkey D. Luffy, Shanks, Big Mom, Kaido. It's probably going to be Buggy. I mean, let's be real. It's probably going to be Buggy because, or they're going to call it Cross Guild or something. Just makes sense to me. This Trafalgar Law is criminally down low considering how many green decks play this thing. 21 cents for this Mononosuke? Yes, pick it up. Pick it up. Guys, look at the market here. This is perfect. Absolutely pick up 4 copies of this at 10 bucks. Porcos the Ace has already shown itself to be a very competitive deck, very strong deck. $1.58? Absolutely. This is the Electric Luna of our future. If Electric Luna rotates out, guess what? Everyone's going to be playing this card to replace it. This is going to be the new Electric Luna that's at $20, guys. $20 for Electric Luna right now. And you could have picked it up for literally 53 cents when it was at this rarity with this simple rare card. This was your opportunity. This was your chance. But you threw it away. See what extra booster's going for. 305 went up by $5, I guess. Good market value here. Is the market healthy? Has Hody Jones gone up? Please stay at $8. $9.50. Okay. Market's still relatively healthy. So long as we don't see Hody Jones at $20, we're good. The market is normalized. Bubble Zoro, what's my Bubble Zoro up to? 769 to... Oh, it still says 769. Okay. I thought I saw it going higher than that. Lightly played, 890. Yeah, still some massive money. Really feel bad for the people that spent $1,500 on this card when it first got out. I knew it was going to drop. Speaking of finances and investments, this is the time to think about what you're going to be investing your money on with the new Star Decks coming out, guys. Star Decks right around the corner. First and foremost, for whatever you want to play, pick up 2. Bare minimum, try to get 2. Hopefully the stores will be selling them at $20 MSRP because you are getting a pack, which is roughly worth about $5, and a Star Deck that's roughly worth about $15. So $20 is a very adequate price for you to get these Star Decks. Start off with making sure you get 2 of the copies of the decks of the things you want to buy. Eventually, I would highly recommend, if you have the finances available, getting 2 copies of each one of the starter decks, guaranteed. And if you want to sit on one, these are the ones to kind of sit on, to be honest with you guys. These ones right here with these packs included have a higher return on investment than most of them. If you're looking at some of these that didn't have that back in the day, outside of age and time being the precursor here, the real value of these deck boxes is in the fact that there's an extra pack inside. Some of them actually have pure B packs inside them. You notice that with the Edward Newgate here and Ace and Titan, where this one's just like a different alt art of the deck itself. Pretty cool, nice, neat, but doesn't have a pack. These come with packs inside them. This one, because the alt art leader is like $100, is probably why this one's boasted up so high as it is. These are getting bought out everywhere, but the alt art leader being over $100 is probably why we're seeing that market here. Looking into it, Uda, no one really plays Uda anymore. $50, that's insane. This thing was like $20 back in the day. Yellow Luffy, don't see too many people playing this one, but there are some people out there. But I believe this one came with a pack, if I remember correctly. So that's still worth picking up. You've got this, the purple Luffy. This one was pretty huge, mainly because a lot of people like the cards that came in it. These cards are still staple in most purple decks. And it had a lot of really good cards that people are looking for that have great value. You got your Usops, you got the SRs that come in here, and the pack itself is pretty good. Yellow Luffy didn't have a pack? Oh, interesting. That seems very high then. If it didn't have a pack in it, what's causing the spike in it? No, wait, it had alt arts. It had alt arts. It came with a 3-card pack for alts. Yes, that's right. And some of the alts in this one are actually pretty crazy. I think Robin alt in this one was super crazy expensive. These will help drive things. Like, this isn't terrible. One piece card game. Oh, what was it? $7 for Luffy. What was I looking for? I think Robin was ridiculous expensive. Yeah, $35 for a Robin, $32 for a Nami. Alt art leader being around $45. Actually, come to look at this stuff. It comes with 3 of them. Tony Toe Chopper makes sense being at $14. It does come with 3 cards, so the chances are you making that money back are pretty high, based on the alt arts alone. So this one really leaning on that one. Sermon, welcome back. Good to see you. So yeah, I guess it all comes down to the alts in this one. But what I'm trying to tell you guys, the point of this is try to get out there, try to get 2 starter decks of every single one of the ones you're trying to play, colors that you normally play, stuff that you like. Get 2 copies of it. Make sure you have enough cards to play whatever deck you want to in the future. And if you have some extra cash or you have some ability, sit on one of them. I mean, these are great long-term investments. They look great on the shelf. Other than that, don't be a scalper. Don't buy a mass. Don't prevent people from being able to get these cards. If you want to, buy one, have it sit on your shelf. It's beautiful. Buying one and having it sit on your shelf will not cause any issues, but buying 6 and keeping away from the public, that'll cause some problems. Don't encourage scalper behavior and definitely don't help it in any way. But do know that these things are having, they do go up in value over time. They're good investments. And the nice things, I personally, what I like is I bought 3 of these things, and now with one of them, I can pay off all 3. Simple as that. So if I ever need to, or need to give it away as a prize support or something, it already paid for 3 of these things as it was. Mostly here, not this one. Let's see. Anything else to talk about financially? And I heard that there's illustration boxes coming out soon, so I definitely would be trying to get my hands on some of those. Yeah, these are always a great investment. Great promos, great time, great cards, and hopefully we'll get our hands on some more PRB. That would be nice. All right, that's going to do it for the market watch. Hopefully you guys gain some knowledge here, understand what's going on with the market. Know that the bubble has not popped yet, but will it pop? Yes. When? Time will tell. We're going to have to find out when the crypto bros find their dropping point or their jumping point of saying, oh no, we're losing 2%, let's leave. And they'll leave. And when that happens, we'll all be fine. If anything, the rest of us as players are going to have a good day because we're finally going to be able to afford stuff again. We'll get the cards that we want and we'll be able to play with them. But I'll tell you, during that time of the bubble crash, good time to buy. Good time to buy. That's what I would do, not what you should do. You do whatever you want with your money. It's your money. But if you really want to know the good times, this is what I'm doing. And right now, when it comes to Magic the Gathering, where a lot of people are mad about Marvel sets and Spider-Man sets and everything else, I'm actually investing in them. And the only reason I'm doing that, I mean, this is something Rudy won't even tell you about from Alpha Investments. I'm doing it because I remember what happened to Lorwyn and what happened to other sets in Magic the Gathering that nobody liked. Nobody cared for them. They sucked. No one wanted it. And you know what those sets are going for now? House payments. They're going for house payments, mortgage payments. They're going for well over what you could have possibly imagined spending in the day because they got thrown away, burned up, and nobody had them. And after the fad of all the hate was out of the air and people were like, oh, there's pretty cool stuff in this. Welcome back. And now you're going to be in the high demand for it. It's going to take me years to see it, but I'm willing to bet you if you can clip this and take it out in 6 years from now when everyone's like, whatever happened to that Spider-Man set? I had some really cool stuff in it. I need some stuff from it. Good luck. We had to burn it all because you didn't buy it. Which is okay with me, because right now they're printing too much. I'm okay with you guys hurting them on that. Fix the printing method, Magic. Come on. It's way too much. And not just like in regular cards, just too many sets. Too many things. Just parse it out like what Bondi does. Give us some months to recover from each set. All right, I digress. This is going to do it for the Market Watch. We're going to clean things up when we come back. We got 3 rounds, people. 3 rounds of amazing content coming your way. We got a flashback from Blue Purple Luffy in round 1. It's going to be fantastic. And this one up against Sengoku. Can the Navy overpower what was the most dominant deck before the ban? And now after the ban, is this deck still got some legs? We'll find out. Tune in. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Homebrew Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and here we are back for the 3 rounds of content. Add all your names to the wheels for all those people that want to get that free pack while watching me live. You got your chance now. We got all your information from YouTube, all the stuff from Twitch. Of course, you can join twice by getting into both those chats and helping the algorithm in both ways. But I will be giving away these packs at the end. Hopefully, we'll get to our 4th hit here soon. Less than half a box left here before we have to get into the next box. And who knows when? Hopefully, we'll see where it lands. We might be having to supply it with a couple of random packs until OP17 arrives and we get a whole new box, and you guys can check that out. Lonely, good to see you. Thank you so much for exclamation point join. All right, we have our content here. We've got our first round, Sengoku versus Monkey D. Luffy. Which one? The blue-purple one, the one that everyone quit on. Oh my gosh, a ban list happened, and what? You took away Big Mom and Katakuri? Oh no, I can't play the deck anymore. Wrong. There are so many good cards that are enabling this, and I cannot wait to show you how amazing this deck still can be to this day, because it has still one of the best draw engines, still one of the best card, while it still is in rotation and good plays here, and still has an amazing 6,000 power, which in today's meta makes a big difference. Starting off here with blue-purple Luffy, we've got the guy that lets you draw. When you have 8 or more Dawn at the start of your turn, 8 or more at the start, you get to look at the top 5 cards, put one in your hand, and stack up the rest of them the way that you want to. You can bottom them if you want to, but the key here is really you want to stack a card on the top. only gets more next set. It really does get a lot of help here, Sai. You're right. This set is going to be absolutely cranking this thing out here. A lot of purple Kaido stuff in 9 cost. Yes, exactly. And 9 cost being the cost that you want to get when you have a card like this one, Sanji on play, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. If it's a character 9 cost less, you get to play for free. Place the rest in the bottom order. It's really reveal 1, but what it's saying here is if you hit a 10 cost or some character you couldn't, or a non-character, then of course you would bottom deck it. But the only way to really play this Sanji accurately is with a card like this. You have Monkey D. Luffy that was just designed to do that. You look at the top 5, grab the Sanji if it's in the stack, and stack the deck with something that's absolutely uber powerful. What's it doing with it? Right now, utilizing Goldie Roger, that gives that plus 2k, which is infinitely more necessary in today's meta. Having the leader sitting at 7, 8, sometimes 9 power based on whatever else combo of cards you might have is actually really important for turns. Makes it easy to counter in the late game, allows you to face these very powerful cards like this one itself, going face to face into you, but also helps stop a lot of different decks that are currently running the meta. You want to start hurting the Goofy deck? Put your leader at 9k. Not easy for the Goofy deck to swing into it. You want to stop the Yamato deck? Put your leader at 7k, 8k. It's really hard for it to get a lot of the free swings. All those free swings and the 5ks and the 6k swings, they're automatically negated just because your leader is at 6k. Now, you take that just on face value at 6k, now you stop the early game where Yamato really excels, when you can start swinging with the 5k Yamato and combo in it with another swing. You're taking out a lot of these swings from these decks. Actually makes a difference, and it's what's making a difference right now in today's meta. A lot of these low to the ground rush decks kind of struggle against 6k power leaders. The other ones that can get around it, maybe like the big rush decks like Red like to get on top of it, other things that can try to get underneath it as much as possible. But let's be real, this deck's gonna ramp faster than you can even blink at, and you got to be careful. You got things like Gear 2, which is what your ultimate start here. You're gonna be resting 2 to get an extra Dawn in your deck. Yeah, you kind of turn off the turn, but that ramp that you're getting during this turn is setting you perfectly up for a Bon Clay into an 8 Dawn turn, and now you can start easily drawing cards, getting things set up. So your Sanji's putting out some massive hitters. You got the Lin that came out here that says on KO down -1, add up to 1 card to the top of your cards to your deck to the top of your life cards. So a nice little don't attack me or I gain life kind of card here. But also on play it does replace itself, and it does ramp itself in the mid game, which is kind of nice. Sometimes it'll get you up to 10 if you're at that awkward stage with the Dawn minusing, but still, that's a really nice body that just you really don't want to run into, and you don't want to give them that extra heal life since they already lost the 9 cost, not Charlotte Linlin. You got, of course, the bow that everyone's playing in blue right now. Very, very good card. Freezing cards, except for Monkey Luffy. Very, very effective. Not to mention the stats on this being a 6 cost 8k body. Very strong. So early game, you've got something that's already hard to get rid of. 6 cost being the optimal set where you can't rest these things easily, not without other card sword support or something else that or some other very specific cards that can get to the 6 cost, but most Lion cards being in the 5 and 4 cost in green to be able to rest this thing and get this thing out of the way as a threat. So it being a 6 cost already dodges quite a few things, and the 8k body already making it very difficult for other things to swing into, especially those weenie decks we were talking about before. Freezing a turn, also just establishing this as a free play here to be able to swing with a 9 and 8k body next turn. Very, very strong. You got Nami blocker to let you draw things. You got Galdino, which of course this one has been seen play in everything. That's why it's one of the more expensive SRs in the set to date, because every blue deck can play this thing, and if they can, they do. It's a great mid game. It can swing 5, it can freeze a character and draw you 2 on top of it. It's a really, really good card, and in the late game, sometimes could just stop that big swinger that you didn't want to have to face with next turn and biding you that 1 turn you needed to win the game. Got some good ramps, some good blockers. We have some anti-blockers as well as a blocker. This one's probably the most powerful card that you really don't want to sleep on. This is something you should be paying attention if you play against anything in blue and anything that would recommend playing this. 3 cost blocker here that gives a character unblockable. Very, very strong. If they're sitting with 3 Dawn open and they got 1 attack, you're probably going to want to use your blockers early. Don't save them at 0 life. Use them before you get to 0 life, because once you give them that green light, here comes Sanji and the game is going to be over. Of course, we have some great removal, or one of the few 2-for-1s that still exist today in removal cards, and since a lot of people have gone away from protecting their stuff because Emu set a really bad pattern, but a lot of people not playing are now capable of playing a lot of these cards that can remove things, and this card being one of the best removals in the game. Yeah, one of the best defenses with Gum Gum Giant that is leader locked into Monkey D or Starcraft Crew Pirates, but still one of the best. It's to die for, at being able to be another ramper that you get to have in the mid game if you need to. So super strong here. And another one I was really looking into, this is a 2-cost 4K counter, which is not bad. Not bad. And then if your opponent has a 6,000 power or more, add up to 1 Dawn for your Dawn deck. So mid game, this is actually kind of nice. You get to put your leader at 10K and get to ramp if necessary. Pretty strong. I like this, and there's a lot of room for you to be able to have the 2 open Dawn for you to make this effective in this game, especially with all the Dawn minusing and the Dawn adding with so many of these different cards here. So it's not too hard, too unforeseeable that you would have this, and most of the time you want this in an early game. Of course, you got the 2Ks in here and the searchers. Kind of. This is not really a searcher here. This is just a bounce effect here. Your searching is your deck. The searchers are your deck. This is one of the few decks I've seen actually be decently consistent, even without a lot of searchers in it, because the leader in itself is the search engine. Now this one's going to be going up against Cedar Branch's Sengoku. This is the 3rd version of the deck. We've seen this on camera. A lot of people playing the Sengoku. It's a lot of fun. When it drops the Admirals, it's very powerful. I've seen a lot of people lose in their first couple rounds against this. I've seen this in the top 3, or like at least in the top matches of most of my locals here. So it is getting some free wins with the ability like this. But if you return 8 active Dawn to your deck, you get to play up to 3 Admirals of different names. So you get to play Borsalino, Kuzan, Sakazuki. All of them right here. Awesome abilities that basically gain your Dawn right back after the on play here, giving you access to stop blockers, give cards blocker, vice versa. Wow, I showed them. Sakazuki that reduces the attack by 6,000 power and gives your ability to basically every turn rest a Dawn to get 2 out. So you're constantly getting more and more Dawn. And you got some awesome 8K bodies that can be coupled with an event that gives them plus 2K. So then you got these 10K bodies if you get the event on the right time. For 4 easy Dawn here, you've got 10K swings coming to life, which is something a lot of decks can't deal with. Buddha to help you with the search, the Marineford to help you with the search, Mamaragan still being one of the best 0-cost counters right here because it is not leader locked and has an ability to just recycle and replace itself. You get a nice little 1K counter out of this card, and on top of that, it will replace itself. So Beam, seeing more and more play in purple decks. I love this card. Up to 1 of your leaders gains plus 2,000 power, and on top of that, you get to rest one of your opponent's characters. So it really makes attacking very awkward for certain attacks here. You get to rest one of their best cards. You got to be prepared if they have 2 open to lose your best, to swing your best first. Forces you into a weird non-ladder climbing. So if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, I always tell you to climb the ladder. Well, against the purple deck and So Beam, this is where you'd actually want to attack with your bigger one first, because if you don't, the chances are you're not going to be able to swing with it if they have the So Beam in hand. So if they got it out there, or maybe bluffing it, but who knows, very easy for this deck to leave open Dawn in after it has all this constant minusing and plussing, and Sakazuki basically adding some more Dawn to the deck. We got mid-game ramp and some early game searching. All this deck's trying to do, search, find the 3 Admirals, play this active Dawn at 8 as soon as possible, and get these Admirals punishing the opponent with their back-breaking effects. These are the decks. These are opponents. Clark out the table here, showcasing Blue Purple Luffy is not done, saying it's still a good deck. And Cedar Branch saying, I've lost this deck enough time, I'm gonna play it. I've seen people win with this deck, and yes, we have seen people win with this deck. Clark, early game, nothing to start. That is very typical for this deck. If you did start with something, I'd probably be more surprised, to be honest with you. If it did start off with some kind of searcher or some sort, I would be like, oh, well, here we go. All right, Cedar Branch getting her search on here. Kobe looking to the top 5, looking for a Navy, add it to hand, and putting the bottom of the rest of the deck. We'll see if she can back it up with 2. Always one of the best things you can do on turn 2 was getting 2 searchers off the bat light here. And tapping it. Do we have another one? We do. Kobe, back-to-back Kobe shots here. Going for gold. Cedar's going to have that perfect hand. This is exactly what you want to see from a start from Sengoku. Having the opportunity to get that hand there. Looks like we got another piece for what it looked like. It looked like one of those new alt arts here for the grief. Look here. Here comes Clark. Now on 3 Dawn. Good turn to maybe get a ramp on if we have it. We'll see what happens. There it is. Our first gear 2 ramp. This is what we're going to do. Attack for 6. Asking for a simple 2K. Don't believe Cedar Branch is... Yeah, she did. She's got a life out there. On the take here. Really easy on a 5 life leader to take that. Switching back for Dawn turn here for Cedar. See what she has. This would be a good turn for maybe a nice little blocker if she has it, or getting a nice swing in. Sadly, with the 6K body, you can't do the double swing. But here we go. We got 2 for the Don Quixote Rosinante blocker, which is going to get a nice little ramp in. On top of that, we have enough for a 7K swing. I thought. What do we do here? No, we use the ability to ramp out awkwardly here. Still, regardless, Cedar Branch with a blocker, setting up for some late game turns. Another ramp here for Clark. And do we have a third? Yes, we do. So 3 ramps here for Clark. Now at the start of the turn, going to get this engine a-cooking with the ability to start getting those early game searches. Nothing on the board here. Does get a free Dawn attach here, so we're going to attack for 7. Asking for 2. Cedar does have it in hand. We'll see if she gives it up. Maybe allowing for the tie here. Not bad. We also have a block option. Cedar in the tank here. Doesn't know if she wants to give up 2 cards at minimum when it comes to a 3K counter. Looks like we are going to give it up, though. And Mama Roggen being one of those cards. All right, passing back to Cedar Branch here. Now, but very, very far behind when it comes to ramping here. Still 1 turn away from being able to maximize the Sengoku ability. So hopefully we'll see maybe some ramp here with another body here. Looking for something like Sengoku, maybe a Monkey D. Garp. Something to get some good bodies out here. Or we could start seeing some decent swings with these little small bodies to start pressuring Clark's hand. Because one of the things Clark survived is no attacks in the early game. We're going to go for a Borsellino play. All right. Going to get a decent ramp on here. Something that, again, can be blocker if Cedar Branch wants to minus the 2 Dawn. And going to go stage here. Good look here. Looks like Cedar Branch is going to be ready to play the Admirals next turn if she has all pieces together. Exodia is getting assembled as we speak. Borsellino may have been an extra copy. But as we note with this 6K power leader, a lot of Cedar Branch's turns have literally just been nullified simply because the leader is a 6K. This is the power of having a 6K leader and why a lot of cards need to lean on having a 6K leader. Now, at Clark's turn, we're going to see the start. Look at the top 5. Add a card to hand. Has to reveal it. And then hopefully we have a Sanji target. Looks like we're going to grab... Well, we already have Sanji there. Looks like we're going to look for a 2K. Do we have a good target for Sanji to play, though? Is the question. Looking like we do. Because we're going to bottom deck him. Okay. All right. So, off the draw here. Clark could be putting out for the Sanji play, but looks like he didn't have any good options here to kind of ramp into. None of those cards look too appetizing, anyways, for Clark to really start ramping out with. So we'll see finally some good bodies on here. All right, good start here. Starting off with 8. Monkey D. Garp going to power up this leader to 2K to the opponent's next turn. 8K swing possibly. Leaving 2 open. We know what the 2 means. Slow being on the future very likely here. Or are we going to attach? No, we're going to attach 10K. Big swing here. Should see a block. Yep, Cedar Branch had that thing set up for a while. Makes sense. But now Clark with a decent side board has a 10K body and a leader at 8K for the rest of this turn. So now you thought 6 was hard to run into. Imagine 8. Borsellino going to be able to get at least a swing in here. Are we likely going to see? I think so. We're likely probably going to see ourselves a nice little search here and the 8 Dawn return to get the Admirals on the field. Now, will that give Cedar Branch a huge advantage? Not really. It will cost her most of the turn here. I'm likely to get maybe 2 swings of the Borsellino and maybe leader attack. There is not a lot of rush until we get the Kaidos from the next set. So sadly, purple not big on, at least not on the Navy side, with some massive rush bodies. There are some Monkey Luffys you could fit in this deck if you wanted to get some rush. But the real powerhouses are coming out in OP17. Looks like we got our copy here. Plenty of Dawn to return. Are we going to see the activation? It's looking like she's set up her stack of Dawn here. It's looking like we're replacing it. Yep, and you know what that means? It's Admiral time. Kuzan, Sakazuki, and sadly, no Borsellino. So we didn't have a backup Borsellino to play here. But Cedar's going to be doing all that ramping and getting all that Dawn back here. Gonna get our first attack in for 8. This one requiring 1. Clark should have it. Hasn't had to pay anything when it comes to counter up to this point here. So I'm sure Clark should have at least something. Looking like we're going to give up the 1. Yep, makes sense here. A little bit late for this card. Even though it would be a good card to attack into as a nice little 8K body. But that's going to be a pass back. All right, starting off another 2K to hand. Second Usohachi. This one going on top, so it means we're likely going to see a Sanji play here. And what did we hide up top? Tapping 4 for 2 Mr. 4 Galdinos. Interesting. So this one, I think we just wanted the cards. So we're going to freeze up the Sakazuki, freeze up the Kuzan. Drawing 2. Yep, makes sense. Freezing up 2 characters, drawing 4. Next turn, we'll probably see a big play here. But this means we're going to have a decent attack with Monkey D. Luffy and the Gold D. Roger. Putting some pressure on that 5-card hand for Cedar Branch. First attack, 7K. Looking for 2 cards. We'll see if we get it. Cedar Branch. Gonna take. Here comes 10K. Did we return the 2 Dawn? Nope, coming at the blocker. And Cedar going to give it up. Cedar not looking too well. A lot of events in that hand there. Someone going to be pretty decent for defensive play next turn, but really going to have to be fearful because Clark's about to drop some massive bombs. 1 open indicating we do have a Gum Gum Giant in hand, so 10K if necessary for one of the attacks. But Cedar basically frozen this turn outside of leader attack. Again, no rush here for the Sengoku deck. Both Kuzan and Sakazuki frozen for the turn due to those 2 Galdinos. Looks like we're tapping what looks to be close to a lot here. 2 seems like a way more... Like we should be playing something else here besides this 2 cost. Good to have a blocker nonetheless. Alright, looking for a draw discard from the stage here. Putting another Kuzan in the trash here. And passing back the turn. Interesting. 2 open. Gonna go for a Nami here. That was gonna bounce the blocker right back to hand. Once we get to see it. And a perfect card with a Sanji. Given he can play the Sanji, get the free card, or doesn't need to. Gonna freeze Sakazuki again with the Boa. Clark playing the mid game. Hasn't really been threatened at life here much at all. That 6K leader really doing a lot of work. Imagine we're still gonna see the Nami play here to bounce that Rosinante here. Let's see what happens. 7K into life. Give him the opportunity to use a blocker. Looks like Clark wants to use the defense. Slow Beam and a Gum Gum Giant for defense. And Slow Beam the attack here. That's exactly why we want to sequence this differently. Clark being punished by his own defensive card here. Alright, Cedar Branch back for the turn. Can swing Kuzan this turn. Massive investment if she wants to put anything else out here. Let's see what she plays. Looking like we do have 8 Dawns, so we could take all 8. No, we're gonna play the card. Sakazuki number 2. This one's a really good answer here. This one's gonna get opportunity to bring Goldie Roger down to 4K, meaning we got plenty of attacks that can get rid of this threat. Clark with no blocker to defense. Gonna have to fight down and possibly defend, but I can't imagine Clark actually gonna defend this. Maybe one attack just to get, you know, something else not going in towards life. And seeing Sakazuki activations here of resting Dawn to get 2 more active. Able to do this twice now. Do have a 5K swing here from lead that can go into this Garp. We got an 8K that can go into this Garp. Cedar Branch really deterring the idea of playing any blockers anyways, given this Kuzan really does like to just turn off blockers. Really annoying card. If you guys played with this in Limited, absolutely annoying card to have to fight up against. See how she wants to navigate this turn. Likely going to be going after this Goldie Roger. We'll see if Clark wants to spend the turn trying to defend it. Here comes 8, likely coming into the Goldie Roger. Yep, Clark just going to let it go. No point in wasting that defensive play now. But doing so also makes it a little bit awkward for Cedar, because Cedar now has to do some Dawn investment attacking a life. Here comes a, looks like 6. Gonna get 1 out of hand. Rest of the stage. Draw, discard another copy of Borsellino. Clearly just looking for some counter here. Massive event heavy here. Gum Gum Giant the play here. I'd probably bottom all this. Just a bunch of wasted events here for Clark. Gonna draw for turn. Still nothing to guarantee to be able to play off the top of deck from Sanji. Would literally have to just wheel a deal, gamble, if we're gonna play the Sanji this time. So likely gonna be the play, maybe a Goldie Roger. Oh, we're playing it gambling. Gambling paid off here. Nami the play off the top. Draw 3, discard. What a play by Clark here. No knowledge, no, gets a blocker off the play. Now that means this Kuzan is probably going to be the attack target, or at least the interest here for Clark if he wants this blocker to do anything at all. And Cedar not looking well with the counter. No open Dawn for anything, but we do have at least 1 counter in hand. Let's see if a 9K swing from Boa will be enough. Here comes 6, what's going into life. Smart, try to get the counter out of hand if we possibly can here. Cedar Branch on the take here. Here comes 8. Coming into this one should easily be protected here. We got plenty of counter in hand to protect this. Yep. Monkey D. Garp to the trash. All right, that's going to be it for the turn. Luckily, now for Cedar Branch, all characters live. This is the turn we can really start putting some pressure on. We saw the event in hand for Cedar Branch, so we could be seeing some massive 10Ks, and Kuzan able to turn off that blocker altogether. We could see a very, very healthy swing here if she's able to fight through the defenses for Clark. Rest the blocker, have some 10K swings coming into body here. It's got to fight through at least 1 known copy of Gum Gum Giant. With all that Dawn, we'll be able to put up a nice swing for leader here too. However, Cedar not looking very healthy on the crackback here. Down to either 1 or no life here, based on the fact that she put the life just outside of camera range here. So looks like Cedar's got the 4 aside for the event here. Got the remaining 6 here, and seeing how this wants to do it. Could be a 10, 10, 10, 11. Playing the event. All the leaders are up by 2. Dawn minusing to rest the character. Oh, I'm sorry, preventing the activation blocker anyways. Here comes Gum Gum Giant and the counter out. Getting rid of Sanji. Looks like Clark is ready to go for offensive next turn. Here comes Kuzan. Take from Kuzan here. Here comes Sakazuki. 2 and a 1. Very easy counter out of the 10K swing here. 2, 2 and a 1, sorry. Now, massive swing here. 6 from the Kobe. Getting some extra swings. Here's 1 out. And there we go. Another 6 from that. Likely probably going to be a take here from Clark, to be honest with you. Used quite a bit of his resources. Nope, has a 2K. We forgot about that. Does have the 2K left. All right, we're turning 1. We're going to use the Sakazuki to get those 2 back active. Nope. Means we didn't have anything left after this. Clark almost forgetting he gets the draw here. Look at the top 5. Raid Suit Sanji, the pull to the top here. Looks like he wants to draw another 2K with the Usohachi. Does mean Clark is likely going to be all in on attacks, though. Takes the draw. Back to 10. Leader, Sanji, Boa, 3 big attacks here. Cedar at 1 or no life. Does have 1 blocker. Setting his piles aside here. Wants to do the math here for how he wants to dictate attacks. Don't recommend doing this at home. Try to do this in your head as best as possible. Here comes 8. Good. Don't want to give away too much information about where we're attacking here. 8's going to poke the bear. No, 9 is going to poke the bear here. 9, very easy number to get back to with the other 2 characters. So if this one lands, block. Good indicator here. Could just put everything underneath Sanji for a massive swing if she's at 0. If she's at 0. I can't tell, she's got 1 life outside of life here. Oh, going for the blocker. This is the offensive here. Here comes 10. Cedar looking like she took. So there at least was 1 life left here. Now Clark with a decision. How am I going to make sure that Cedar doesn't have enough counter for these next 2 swings? Looking at 10 and 10. Maybe a 9-11. No pun intended. It's looking like 10 and 10. Gonna swing 10 and look at the math. No, going 9. 9, let's see if she can get out of it. Plus 3 to 8. 9, 10. All right, another 10. Into Sakazuki this time. Interesting. Cedar gonna let that one go. All right, 2 life. Cedar on a prayer here. Smart on Clark to attack with the blocker since it wasn't going to get any activate. It wasn't going to get an attack anyways. Cedar at full den dawn. Imagine this would be the turn. If she's going to win it, it's got to be now. Clark with a lot of 2Ks. We've seen him grabbing from the top of his deck. Really prioritizing it. 1 open. Still got that Gum Gum Giant in hand still. So one of these swings is going to be automatically negated that way. 2 life. Potentially 4 swings here. Cedar Branch has got to bait that Gum Gum Giant, though, as best as possible here. Preferably getting it as a massive overcounter if possible. And here's the turn where Cedar Branch has just got to be thinking, what is the total number of attacks I need to get this game won? And here's it comes a big swing. Counted out with 2. 8. Using the Gum Gum Giant on an 8. Not bad. Draws 2 after discarding. Don -2. Only 2 attacks at 2 life, though, so I don't think Cedar's going to be able to close the game here. 8. We'll see if Clark wants to. 2 2Ks. Anything left here is an easy take here for Clark. But counters out of the Boa to make sure we still got a swing. 1 open. And passing the turn. Clark looks at the top 5. Cedar, 5 cards in hand. 1 of them being a brick. 2 of them being a brick. Not a lot of great cards in here. Clark has to find a way to victory. The math seems to be there. Mathematically, 4K counter is the best you're going to see. Here's the 9K swing. Take for Cedar. We got a 2-2 and a 1. Clark testing the waters. Massive swing here. 15. That's enough as Cedar closes the game. Clark, Blue Purple Luffy, still a viable deck. And there you go, just like that. Blue Purple Luffy taking it down and showcasing that even with the ban, still a viable deck today. 6k leader is never something you want to be putting aside, guys. Trust me, a 6k leader and something, this is why we love those cards to get our leader like +2 to be a 7, maybe an 8k leader, depending on what our base power of our leader is. This is why Nami is so good, getting up to 7k constantly. That 6k static ability absolutely matters. We noticed 3-4 turns, Cedar couldn't even get a swing in to even threaten the life. Nothing threatened the hand, nothing threatened there. You want to be able to beat this deck, you got to get under it, you got to pressure it, you got to force them to use the cards early game, and if you can't because of 6k leader ability, there you go. A simple number, a simple 1,000 plus on your leader is enough for you to play out and outwit your opponent's attack strategies. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, another match between Blue Purple Luffy that's still at the table versus Blue Yellow Nami. We'll see which blue deck can win it out. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Homebrew Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're back again for the next round of this 3-match round. This is round 2. We got Blue Purple Luffy dominating the table, and now it's coming back again at table number 1, representing this amazing deck that, yes, we're not blasting the past. This deck is still viable today, and we're going to show you exactly why here in just a moment. But this one's going to be up against the current meta leader, Blue Yellow Nami. And Zombie, who loves the camera loves her. She's back at the table, and it looks like Clark is just beating up on all the women of this channel. I just swear, it's just all kinds of nastiness. I got a message out there on YouTube for Nendo. Thank you so much for the exclamation point join. If you're not a part of my Discord, please do so. I love you guys joining, please do. But I do need you to be a part of my Discord so I can contact you, because if I can't contact you, I don't know who to send it to. It is absolutely for free unless you're overseas, and then I got my way of helping you guys overseas. I talked to those guys individually about how I finagle a system to help them get those packs if they win enough and get overseas, because a lot of people don't like to do with overseas stuff. It's very expensive to ship overseas. Trust me, I've done it quite a few times already. I've shipped down to the south, shipped over to Europe constantly. It has always been a multi like $40-50 investment, sometimes just to get them the cards, but they always won something of value that was up there, worth my time and worth their time anyways for putting those two together. So you can, if you're not from America, get in these packs and get with an exclamation point join, get yourself on the wheel for some of these free cards. I pull a manga, you damn well believe it. I'm probably gonna be trying to get myself and save enough for a ticket so I can deliver it to you and hand deliver it to you. Visit your beautiful country out there, and then also deliver this $1,000 card that I just happened to pull for free. But thank you very much. If you're out there and you haven't done so, you want to hit the exclamation point join for your chance to win one of the 2 free packs at the end of the stream, please do so. The bigger the stream gets, the more packs to give away. I've been able to do quite a bit and given out quite a bit already, and can't wait to give out even more. But without further ado, we have the decks for the day. Blue Yellow Nami versus Blue Purple Luffy. What blue is going to remain dominant after this round? Stay tuned to find out. We're starting off with Blue Purple Luffy. The last stream, I just covered this thing and went through it in all of its glory here, so we're just going to go over it real quick. This is one of the only decks that can enable one of the more powerful blue cards we've seen to date. At the start of your turn, if you have 8 Dawn, you get to look at the top 5, add one of those cards to your hand, then put the rest in any order on top of your deck. That means you're going to draw another card, and the card that you left in the 3rd slot of those 5 cards you looked at is going to be a card you're likely going to be able to play for free. And what are you doing? You're playing it for free with a Sanji. On play, reveal the top card of your deck and play up to 1 character with a cost 9 or less other than Sanji, then place the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. You want to be seeing things like this monkey, is Goldie Roger that give +2 KD to lever for full turn. This Charlotte Linlin that gives you ability for a character they don't want to run into because it's going to heal them. This Freezing Boa, if we have it, because it's got a beautiful stats, 6 cost, 8k body, beautiful stats, and freezing the character for turn. Absolutely devastating. We can get a blocker if we want to, maybe Galdino if we're really desperate. But really, this is the top half that we want to see. Got a lot of great defensive plays, a great removal package, and on top of some great sneaky plays with this Sanji to get one of these attacks in for lethal. Most powerful thing about this deck, this 6k base power. Still relevant to this day, even 3 years into it. 6k leaders always dominate and showcasing just how strong they can be, and it's why Goldie Roger was such a menace, because once it got up to 7k, it was very, very difficult to deal with. And talking about characters that get up to 7k, here comes Nami. Simple Dawn attached here. You can discard a card from your hand and make it 7k for the turn. Very, very disgusting. There's a reason this deck is so consistent and so used today. We got what we call the Thriller Slot package here with Kamasi, Dr. Hogback, Perona, and Gecko Moria. Gecko, the one trigger that allows you to get anything active, where these ones put it rested within the Thriller Bark side. And this one, just any 4-cost character from your trash, which is really, really good, because you can get things like this Ronor Zoro that heals you. Trash a card, heal a card. You can get back maybe a baby 5 body or keep the cycle going. You can get a Galdino if you want to freeze something next turn. You can get yourself a nice little blocker if necessary, which can be absolutely devastating. You got Nami here, takes a life on play so long as you have 3 or less life. There's only going to get 1 activation in this matchup, but still very, very good card to get that easy life swing here. You've got the Nami or Nico Robin that you don't want to swing into. Not only does it heal you +1 after taking 1, giving you 2, it's like +1, guys. On the KO, it does damage, and this damage is lethal damage. That means if you had 0 life and you kill this thing, you could just have lost the game. I'm not countering out of that. You lose. Take the life. Edward Newgate, because it's a great blocker, adds draws 2, discards 1, adds 2 to your leader and 2 to a different character for Dawn, which activates the Nami's ability to be a 7k, along with having a nice little 12k body that can eventually be a swinging attack swinger, is super, super devastating. We got some health gain with the Borsalino, Baby 5 for the draw ability and a nice little 2k. We've got Kikinojo, which is great from life. This is automatically live right from the get-go because the leader that she's playing against is already at 3 life. What else? We got Girl that makes the activation on the Dawn there, and Zeus to answer any other threats. What more do we need to say? This deck has got it all. It's got the best of the blue, it's got the best of the yellow, and it is currently ranking top #1 deck in today's meta. But if you guys are been a long time part of this channel, you guys know I truly believe Blue Yellow Nami lives by the triggers and dies by the triggers. A lot of things leaning on the triggers for this deck. If they don't see them, which you saw, there are some cards that are not going to be triggers, it can be absolutely devastating and impossible for you to get into. All right, Clark doing what Clark does best, ramping out, getting that additional Dawn. Here comes 7. Going to guarantee to get 2 cards or life from Zombie here. Zombie on the first offensive swing. Yet to do anything just yet here. Can easily turn this leader to 7k, but is going to have to give an additional 1 if Zombie wants to give it up. Will likely have to take a life here, but given there's nothing in trash, the trigger's less likely to be anything of value coming from Zombie's top half. Only 1 Kikinojo, so likely not going to be a Kikinojo from this deck. Be very high rolly if we saw it. What? We got nothing here. It looked like we did get some kind of trigger, but could not play it. So Zombie on the take, because there's nothing in the trash. 4 Dawn turn here for Zombie on the draw. This would be a good time to put out a good blocker or something that enables the leader. Definitely wants to have at least 1 underneath the leader here, because she is going to have to start worrying about these massive swings coming in from Clark here. Clark recognizing this match, got to start getting as much pressure on these Blue Yellow Namis as possible. Tapping 4 for a hogback. All right. Now, nothing underneath leader. This is a great turn here for Clark. Zombie turning the shields off just for 1 turn. Looks like we might see another ramp here with It's to Die For. Yep, there it is. Ramp and another back-to-back, all 3 copies here. It's to Die For ramping out. That means Clark's going to be at 8 Dawn next turn. And just like that, we've got another massive swing of 8 coming at it. Zombie gonna have to give up 2 2Ks. Here's our first for the discard for 2 and a 2K. With that beautiful Altar Baby 5. All right, 2 cards in a hand, 3 life. Now both players at 3 life here. Hogback gonna need some Dawn investment. Nami gonna need some Dawn investment. Here comes our first 6. Poke in the hand. Clark gives up 1 with the Galdino. Another play with that. There's the only take we're going to see for the Nami. Getting it out early makes sense. Coming in with the attached Dawn. Here comes 6. 2K counter here from Clark. Just because most of the counter from this deck is 2K. Let's be real. All right, Clark back. He's going to start a search. Going to look for the top 5. You can tell one of the cards, if he has a Sanji, is already going to be added to his hand. Or at least the top of the deck anyways. Going for the Nami play here. Not a whole lot to return, but a nice little 2K. Draws what looked like another ramp from the Mr. 4 or Mr. 2 or 3 Bonclay anyways. Here comes our first Sanji play off the tap. Yep, there's Goldie Roger. 8K swinging the body. Asking for 2 cards again from Zombie here. No defense. Zombie on the take. Do we have a trigger? We do. Gecko Moria going to get back a nice little 4-cost Perona. Perona, nothing to freeze because Clark's deck is just too tall. Another advantage for this very top-heavy deck here. Nothing for Perona to freeze. All right, Zombie at 8 Dawn turn. Opponent already at 10. Has at least 1 body that can swing without a Dawn investment, but everything on the board here going to require some kind of Dawn investment, so having to play slightly off curve. We can't see the normal plays of playing out the Nami into the Nico Robin and the normal sequencing here. Already being very awkward without just turning off the turn of attacks as it is. And Clark absolutely not threatened by any of the characters on the board here. I'm sorry, now re-looking at it, Nami's still going to need a Dawn investment due to the Goldie Roger. So every single one of this could be a turn where they just play the heal and pass. Not feeling good for Zombie. I can see the stress right now in her hands here. All right, gonna get a swing in here. Here comes for 8. Gonna get 1 with that card already just drawn. Putting 1 underneath leader to make sure the leader ability is active. Borsalino going for the heal. Got a blocker and a heal. Back to Clark. Look at the top 5. Are we going to see a follow-up with Sanji? No. Gear 2 at the top. Well, we haven't seen the rest of the cards, so still could see it. Gear 2, nice little 3K counter if we need to. Don't need to ramp anymore, that's for sure. Back to the 10 Dawn turn here. Clark going to be definitely incentivized to want to put the leader back up to 8K. Let's see if we can do it back to back. It's where this spending 8 and another one. Bam. Just like that. 8K leader. Just as we predicted. Here comes 8 into life. Discarding for 2 and the 2. Here comes 9. Automatically taking. Going to draw 2 from the baby 5. Here comes 10. Gonna get the block. Nope. Gonna get a take. Do we have a trigger? No trigger here for Zombie here. Not looking great. Finally at 10 Dawn here. Already down to 1 life. Having to face down 2 Goldie Rogers and a Sanji and a leader at 8K. A lot of Dawn investment if we want to see any kind of attacks, and most of these things are just pokes. Just poking the bear. We know we got 1 event that's going to negate anything to 3K plus. Perfect information. We have 2 cards, so indicating we have 1 of those Gear 2s and the potential with a Gum Gum Giant in hand here. Clark not fearing most of these attacks because Zombie having to invest big to swing in. Clark demonstrating just how much faster Blue Purple Luffy is at ramping than Gold D Roger of all things. And all that deck does is ramp in the mid game. All right, looks like we're going to get a play out here. Maybe a heal Zoro. Sadly, that is going to take away from some of the offensive power we need to start pressuring this life here. Getting attached on here. Making sure the leader ability's live. All right, going for Teach. Look at the top 3. Add 1 to life. Gets to choose a target. Hopefully got something good on the top 3 here. Another one of those things you've got to hope the top 3, even though you can grab anything you want, one of those has to be good. And I have seen differently. Clark, look at the top 5. Adding a card to hand. Let's see what he grabs. Uso Hachi. And the draw. Can we put a leader back up to a plus 2K yet again? This already clearly making it difficult for Zombie to get any kind of a swings in. Clark just going to keep the offensive, keep the pressure on. Does not look like we have a Sanji play. But we do have another 8 cost play here. Nope, maybe not. Here comes big swings. Looks like we're going to try to go for lethal. 9 into life here. Zombie thinking about putting something else in the yard. Looks like we're going to pitch for the 2K. Are we going to give up another 2 and a 1? There's a 1. And a 1. And a 1. Good grief. Most of the hand right there. 10K life in a swing. Can get the block. We do. Don't even know why we're investing Dawn. We know she doesn't have the counter. 12K. This one going to get another character. Going for Hogback. It means next turn Zombie's got to play all offensive with this board here. And since Clark's at 6K, it's going to be a lot less of an investment. But still, needs 3 of these swings have to connect here. Massive swing. That's the last life for Zombie. Gonna grab a card. Are we gonna get enough? Probably get the Zoro from life here. Here comes the Zoro. Yep, gonna get a nice little discard for life here. All right, Zombie back up to 1. But now if Zombie wants to go for it, needs to go for game. Cannot afford, based on Dawn investment, cannot afford to go board here. Very few cards in hand, lost most of them to the last swing from Clark. Needs to get some kind of active swings here. Most of these characters at 5K, so all of them going to need at least 1 Dawn investment just to poke the hand. 10 full Dawn activation here. 3 of these attacks have to land if we're going to win. First poke, 6. Clark, 2K, 1K, sorry. With the Big Mom Linlin. Next, Zombie with a 7K. Gets the 2K from the Nami we saw him draw earlier. 8K. This one looking like it's a take. Zombie already looking like she's going to draw. Nope, geared to the play. Here comes 8. Gum Gum Giant, draw 2. Had to discard a 2K for that one. Interesting. 8K. 2K, 1K. Or is it 2-2? 2-1. And of course the connect with the teach, but that's gonna do it. Clark, now 4 swings, 1 life, no blockers. Zombie, limited cards in hand. I don't think she can survive the crackback. Puts the 2K on top. Gear 2 in the hand for the plus 3K defense if necessary. Back up to 10K. Only 2 of these attacks have to land, and it should not be too hard. Given this, we have a 9K swing. And Zombie on the take. Just stack up a Goldie Roger and close the game out. There we go. 19, 17, there we go. 3 cards in hand. Clark closes it out like that. And that is how you close a game in minutes. Blue Purple Luffy ramping out 3 times right in a row. 10 on the 3rd turn. Insane amount of ramp on there. A 4th turn. It was a 4th turn, sorry. First turn, they never do anything. All right. 4th turn, ramping out there, getting this thing massive and just exactly where he needs to be. Hitting the cards right off the top. Leaders at 8K, easy to defend out of. Zombie can't even get some swings in. Just absolutely locking the game out. Lights out. Just insane. All right, guys, we have 1 game left. 1 game left after this in the packs to give away. And guess what? It's your boy. Shanks, undefeated going into this round, and he's going to be playing against none other than Clark. Clark, who has been dominating the field here. We had 40 people out there, and Clark still just kept getting to table 1. Insane. We had so many people. We had 3 people that were undefeated by the time this thing was done. And it's going to be right now the decision between me and Clark of who's going to remain undefeated. Your boy's on Shanks. I still believe in it. There's still some stuff I want to talk about. We'll get into it after this break. But when we come back, we're going to see the finals matchup between Red Shanks, old school matchup too, and this Blue Purple Luffy, which has just been absolutely dominating the scene. And of course, if you want those deck lists, go to Patreon. Or just rewind, pause. I put the deck list up there for you guys. Come on now. All right. Without further ado, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Homebrew Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and here we are for the third and sadly final round of the evening. We're going to be doing this, and it's going to be probably pretty quick because this is the old school matchup between Blue Purple Luffy and Shanks. And if you guys haven't seen this thing before, it could go either way. I think that's an easy 50-50 matchup between the two. Die rolls are going to be important here, and seeing specific cards is going to be absolutely important. Going to want to see if we can match up that curve, because one thing that Blue Purple Luffy does, it consistently gets some massively big bodies, as we've seen the last two games already doing so for us, and watching these amazing bodies hit the floor, which has been fantastic to see all in its glory. I mean, it just gave the Swifty to the blue yellow Nami deck, which is a tier 1 deck right now. Right, 19XX, good to see you. Welcome back. Thank you very much for that. I don't remember if I've seen you in the chat in my Discord, but please, if you guys have not yet, please join the Discord. Putting it here, copy address here, putting it in the chat. That's not it. Copy link address. There it is. Discord in the chat. Just make sure that you're in there. That way I have some way to be able to get a contact with you. The chat isn't that booming yet. I don't have full time to be able to monitor that and keep the thing going. But what's nice is you guys can show off all your hits, which I really enjoy. Talk about things, ask questions about some of the other games that I play here. Because talking about other games, we have some awesome stuff coming up this weekend. We've got the release of the anniversary set for Gundam that's coming out. The super hyped set. It's definitely going to be doing some shaking into the meta here. Along with the new ban list finally coming into effect, where we don't have to worry about all those weenie rush decks kind of like taking over the meta and forcing us into like a 2-deck format. And I don't even mean just 2 decks. I mean 2 types of decks. You either played the rush aggro with whatever color combination you wanted to, or you played something with a blocker package to try to get to your top end. It's really all we really kind of saw most in Gundam, and this is definitely going to shake it up, along with an awesome ban list. Good job, Bondi. I appreciate you doing that. But we're also going to get some awesome new cards that are going to be powering up some really cool IPs and introducing a new IP that we haven't seen yet. And I'm super really looking forward into the monster edition for Gundam, where the fist, the divine fist, is now in play here. A lot of puns you can play with that one. It's gonna be fantastic. A lot of people really super excited for this set. I'm super excited. I'm gonna be the one live on Friday showcasing all the polls that I get, hoping to get something amazing so I can get some. Of course, I'll be giving away some Gundam packs live on stream. Of course, Chainsaw Man for Union Arena is right around the corner. Super excited for Chainsaw Man. It's gonna be fantastic. Volume 2 for AOT also around the corner. Super looking forward to that. I know that my girl's gonna start playing now that she has the AOT deck to play. Attack on Titan for you non-weebs, if you will. And of course, we have Dragon Ball is a game. Dragon Ball Fusion World, it's a game. I am yet to find the players. I've been turning over rocks. I have all the decks built. I'd love to play sometime, but yeah, that's the thing. We have of course, Pokemon 30 right around the corner. So if you guys are saving up for that, that's going to be awesome. Can't wait to try the pre-release for them. Pokemon's anniversary set. We got the anniversary, the deck boxes coming out soon for One Piece, which is going to be super fun. Can't wait to get those games out for you guys, where we're going to be playing the deck boxes and having, play the deck right out the deck and challenge your opponent. That's going to be a super fun night. My bet is probably green's probably the strongest based on what I've seen so far, but the rest of them actually have some really good cards. They're going to be adding great value to even some of the decks we're seeing today. It's going to be seeing Shanks here, which got powerful with the new promo that I'm yet to get. But we're going to talk about the decks here in just a minute. Let's not get into that just yet. First, we're going to get into our last match. Of course, exclamation point join for your chance to win one of the 2 free packs we're getting giveaway after this game is concluded. You're going to see your boy on Shanks and the Copium. It's still put in work. I still think that the promo is going to put this thing over the top here. We'll talk about what that is in just a moment. But I think that Shanks definitely did get a good leverage higher, and it is to say so. If you're looking at the Pirate Party stuff that they're doing with a certain ban list on OP 16 and 15 liters, Shanks is on that list, and it's on that list for a reason. The deck is super good and has gotten super consistent, along with some awesome top ends and that new Beckman card. We're also going to be going up against some new cards that we're going to be seeing in the Blue Purple Luffy that gets a little bit of a power up, a little bit in the Star decks, but a massive power up when it comes to OP 17, because we're going to get a lot of 9-cost Queen, Jack, and King cards. They're going to definitely power this deck up to the next degree, and showcasing that Blue Purple Luffy is still a viable deck and something you want to be looking out for in the future. All right, with that ado, let's get into the deck list and into the final match. Let me know in the chat who you think is going to win this one. We're going to find out right now. Starting off with Blue Purple Luffy. I've covered this deck twice now, so we're just going to go over this real quick. It's a 6,000 power leader, which is the most important factor on this thing on top of its draw ability. There is no searching, there is no consistency needed. When your leader every single turn can look at the top 5 cards and pick one in the hand, draw a card, and that top card can be exactly what you want it to be to play Sanji at 9 cost. Now, you have to have 8 Dawn out before you start your turn to do this, but this deck does a great job of ramping. You got the It's to Die For in Gear 2 here that you've already seen play. You got the easy ramp here for Mr. 2 Bond Clay if you necessarily need it, just to get yourself some early game ramp. But that's what this deck is really going to be doing early game. Using its 6,000 power as a nice little defensive wall makes it difficult for decks to swing into, especially like Yamato decks that like to swing the 5k bodies, and all the other ones that like to start off with a nice little 5k swing and a 5k little searcher swing. That's not going to be doable. Not in this deck. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to punch through. It's only 3 life, but that 6k power is very, very easy to defend against and makes it very difficult for decks that can't afford to invest Dawn on their swings. As we saw from the last one, all those 5k bodies didn't mean anything when they couldn't get into an 8k body created by the Gold D Roger effect. This one being one of the more powerful cards that's been added to the deck, where you get to get plus 2k till the end of your opponent's next turn. So you got an 8k leader that can come in for a swing. Next turn, you're swinging in 8. A lot of Dawn investment to swing into an 8, especially with easy 2k counter. The best Gum Gum Giant counter to date here, given plus 4k. You've got this ramp that turns into some counter if necessary in Gear 2. You've got some other decent counters here with the Pentachromatic Sting. Haven't seen it in play just yet here, but also a nice one to ramp early stage if necessary. Gives plus 4k if they want to go big swing, and on top of that, if there's a 6,000 power in their turn, you get to ramp it on. Linland out here just has a nice little 7k body that you don't want to remove because you gain life if you do so. Boa, one of the best boas right now out there that freezes a card for turn, something you can't get around, so long as it's not Monkey D. Luffy anyways, but freezes that card for a turn, makes it difficult for them to be able to swing in, and you got a nice little beautiful stats with 6 cost 8k body. We got some blocker here with Nami, you got a freeze effect with Galdino, blocker with Sanji, the careful what you're playing, because if you leave them vulnerable, no life, this Sanji can surprise victory out of nowhere. This one's going up against version 3.0 right now of Shanks in this new meta. Still working on the kinks, still working on some new cards here. This is it in all of its glory right now. Uda, got to get the search on, of course, playing 4 events because I got to get the search on. Got to make sure I'm getting consistent because the deck plays pretty heavy on making sure that I can get the Ben Beckman on 10 Dawn turn. This is where the deck really takes off. If I can play out this 5 cost Ben Beckman and couple it with one of these top end Shanks, the deck is going to be in my favor. Sai says, isn't Blue Purple or UPL the single reason why Shanks fell out of the meta? Honestly, it did put in a lot of work. It did. And the reason for that is because that 6k body really didn't make that minus 1k once per turn really that effective. One of the beautiful things about this is it usually did a great job of basically negating 1 attack per turn. And a 6k body does the same thing, but just static, right? It's usually negating at least 1 attack, if not 2, 3. But that static 6k is far more powerful than a once per turn minus 1,000 for a turn, which gets power crept in OP 17. I believe it's Kaido that gets -2 for a turn, which is absolutely insane. But the -1 was quite effective because most things were 5 life leader or 5 power leaders. So yeah, it was a lot easier. But now that it has the capability of throwing out these Shanks bodies for 6, leaving some open Dawn to play the Uda blocker if we have the extra Dawn for it. Of course, we have the 4, so you can play the Lucky Rube blockers if you want to. Maybe this other Shanks blocker that gives you an ability to discard the non-counter to make it a 2k for turn. You got of course, this Shanks works as a 2k, but it is in a pinch, can kill things if necessary. You get to rest 2 of your Dawn cards, but you can KO to your opponent's character with 4,000 power or less. So in a pinch, it can kill some weenies if necessary. Really, it's just there for the 2k power. Yasop kind of helping out to get that 6k to turn to kind of like make things even between the 2 leaders. So a great mid-game answer is going to be a Yasop in this matchup. Ben Beckman, which does a wonderful job of just trashing characters that gets around all those anti-KO abilities. You got Ronor Zoro that'll put it up to 7k to help match it up. You've got Shanks that puts it up to 7k to help match it up. This one gets a cost reduction. As long as they have a character with 8,000 power, base power, or less, you can make it out for a nice little 6 cost, 10k power. And of course, giving yourself a nice little 7k till the next turn. One of the key in most of this meta right now, I've been talking about Edward Newgate. Not searchable, sadly, but still very, very powerful. If this deck can go into a curve of dropping the 8 cost before dropping the Ben Beckman combo, this deck is seriously putting in numbers and is probably going to get you a win. Most games that I've played with this deck that started with an Edward Newgate that gives me a static 7k for my turn, also gives me the double attack, then into a nice little Ben Beckman, into a nice Shanks, whether it be this Shanks or this Shanks, I can get up to 9k with this Shanks alone and double attack, and that's usually enough to force massive counter or get the blocks out of the way. Some of the cards I've been thinking about adding into the deck because of the current meta. Picked up 4 copies of this one because I thought it was actually kind of neat. I wanted to showcase this one. On play, you can KO up to 2 of your opponent's characters with a total power of 4k or less. So if you're having problems with the goofy matchup, this is a great card to side into. I haven't put it in the deck yet because I haven't figured out what to remove, but I do think that's going to be a nice, powerful card. And of course, when I get it in the mail, arguably one of the best Shanks printed to date is this new 10 cost. I got 4 copies coming in the mail here. I'll probably only play 2. On play and when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker during this turn. So instantaneously turn off all those 12k blockers. I don't care about your Whitebeards. I don't care about anything. I don't even need Goldie Roger anymore because I can search the 10 cost Shanks on top of being able to play the 10 cost Shanks with the Ben Beckman. So I don't have to play this Goldie Roger. It's like a placeholder for it. Got myself an opportunity to, and no pop Shanks. Yep, no pop Shanks on this one. I didn't feel like playing around the idea that people could still play anti-counter in this one. And I do want to be playing something of, I need to be threatening the board now, attacking, putting some kind of effort into it. Obviously, the best Shanks to drop is this 10 cost Shanks here, because it does decrease and stack the power of all your opponent's characters by minus 1000 power. And that in itself can make a big difference when you get 2 copies of this bad boy out. And you got Shanks swinging massive and all the characters having to have Dawn investment to get it wrong on this massive board here. Still doing pretty well. It's got great answers against the Yamato, great answers against the goofy decks because it can power itself up into a 7k leader, making it harder for those weenie decks to swing into outside of Mr. 3 Galdino. The one that gets can copy the base power of the leader. But you have other cards in here, some great blockers, some great answer blockers. This one's fantastic still to this day. KO and a base 6k power or less. This means it doesn't matter what they have on the Dawn attachment, as long as it's 6k base or less. I'm killing it. I'm getting rid of their threats. I'm getting rid of the issues. And it does make attacking very awkward for my opponent. This really gets rid of a lot of blockers too for me to get to the top end. We have basically all the utility stuff. Shanks super good in red, gonna be more powerful in green in my opinion. But Sai says with Hongo you can't pop a 12k, right? Yes, with Hongo I believe you can pop 12k if you wanted to, but that's one of those things where like you got to play this. I'm kind of like playing my turn out. Really what I like doing with Ben Beckman is playing this thing as the last bit of my turn, leaving the 10 up, threatening the Goldie Roger, making them play around a Goldie Roger, and then playing in the Ben Beckman into a nice little rush Shanks that then leads me into another blocker here if I have the Uda in hand. So, or just another one of these blockers here. One of the really, really powerful things this deck can do, honestly, especially if it's got the Edward Newgate already out, is dropping this bad boy, getting a 10 cost or 9 cost Shanks out, and then dropping another blocker behind it. So walling up with 2 different blockers and getting yourself a nice power up. Super, super strong and still viable today. All right, those are the decks. Let's get into the matchup. Probably going to be a fast one. The deck's choice here, I have to get underneath it. It's all about getting underneath it. If I can't, I'm not sitting pretty. I already sit at a disadvantage with a 6k power leader. And my only objective here is to put as much pressure on him to get as much counter out of hand to make sure my last game swings are a lot easier mathematically and capable of getting underneath it. Did win the die roll, put him on the play because I believe, honestly, I'm not going to be able to do my turn 2 5 and 5 combo against a 6. So getting to the 10 Dawn as fast as possible is probably my best bet. Obviously not great for Clark, good for Clark because he does have ways in which to ramp. Never nothing on first turn, but this gives me an extra card and an opportunity to try and get some kind of searchers and get the right cards I need in hand. Ooh, to the play. Looking for one of the two pieces for the Ben Beckman combo here. Going to start for a search. That way I can fully utilize this 2-Dawn turn here. Making sure I didn't make any mistakes here. Not a whole lot of great targets there in the first hand here. Did have some protection, but I didn't really think about too much removal, too much of a removal from Clark's deck. I've noticed a lot of decks have been going light on removal lately. So while the Rockstar is a great 2K counter, it's one of those decks where you got to know your opponent has the removal to really want to prioritize picking that one up. But here, at least I can dig deeper here, looking for one of the 2-card combos, because I definitely need to get Ben Beckman at 5 costs and one of the Shanks in hand here to get the combo going. Got a 9 cost that looks like I'm putting to the top. Just double, triple checking. Always want to make sure you're making the best decision on there. And the curve's right. Yep. Another thing you also want to think about is, what do I want to do next turn? Am I going to get the curve just right? Here comes 6. Easy take. No counter. Debating on using leader ability. Nope, just going to take. No counter. Drops out his first bit of ramp. Passing the turn. All right, do have an opportunity now to swing at least one of these characters at 6K. Or put out some blocker defense. But with the blocker, does mean that I'm not going to be able to swing this turn. Can put out a Searcher, swing out for 8K if I want to. Maybe save the Lucky Roo for something that's actually very valuable. Right now, nothing of value with that Lucky Roo is going to be hitting the board. Nothing of value yet to see anything from Clark, so not a real hurry to put up a little bit of defense here. Looks like I have plenty of the pieces for my card combos here. Next turn, Yasop looking pretty strong. Yeah, gonna go in for the swing. Here comes 8, looking for 2. Pressure the hand. Pressure the hand, get the cards out of the combo, out of there. Don't give him too many free turns, because that's exactly what Clark wants. Gonna play the Uda. Looking for another copy, get maybe some counter in hand here. Looking like I got a nice little copy of Yasop, so next turn's gonna be set up here. Got a mid-game play. And a character, gonna pass back. Just grabbing the Medallion right there, just make sure I can let you guys all know when I've used leader ability. Got plenty of counter in hand here. Big swing. Don't know if I really want to waste all the counter in hand for the big swing. Probably just going to be a take. Yep. Take off the bat here. And no other move. Got lucky. Clark wasn't able to ramp twice this turn. So saving myself one turn of not having to worry about the ramp. Very lucky on my part here. But with no characters out, none of these other characters really have much power just yet. Gonna tap the 5 for the Yasop to get the plus 1K to the leader. Gives me a nice little 7K swing. Asking for 2, still stressing the hand. We'll see if I can finally get a life hit. Clark thinking, taken. Good news for me. All right, getting one of those life down, starting to put some kind of pressure. 2-3, sorry, and the life points here. Looking pretty strong in my favor. Still keeping the pressure on my opponent. Now have a character that can actually swing into it until Roger hits the field. But here comes Roger, 8K into life here. Gonna activate leader ability, bring it back down to 7. 2 and a 1. Gonna give 2 and a 1. Passing back. Go to turn. Wait, what? What do you mean, wait, what? That's not possible? He swung 8 into 5. I use leader ability to make it 7. I can counter out for 8. Roger can't give 2K. Oh, he's not at 10 Dawn. That's right. He's not at 10 Dawn. Sai, you're right. You're so right. He's not at 10 Dawn. I play with this card and I didn't even do that. Oh, God. Clark. I know. Oh, God. I play with this card. I should have known better. Ah, typical OP players don't read the cards. That's what I'm saying. Oh, God. Oh, you're right. I play with this card. I know better. Clark. It really is on both of us. This isn't just a Clark thing. I can't just be screaming at Clark because I have to be reading the card. You know how many times I've played this game, you guys, and I've told you guys to read the card, and here I am on camera, just giving you all the excuses to like throw shade at me because I didn't read the card. I need to get an RTFC or RTFC to like in some kind of animation so I can put it on the screen every time I screw up like this. I don't want to throw shade at other people, but clearly this late in the game, 30 years of playing the card game, and I forgot that Goldie Roger needed 10 Dawn to do that. We have officially made Tony Chopper cry. Oh man. All right, Shanks, my return play for the 2K power up. This one gets a nice little cost reduction because of Goldie Roger. Not fully at 10 Dawn here, but nice to get a nice big body out and some kind of answer to throw into him. So I can at least get a swing. That +2 that shouldn't be there. Really pressuring here. Because I could have been, without that +2, I could have easily gotten in for 2 different swings here. But sadly, it's either Yasop for 8 or my leader for 9 to put any kind of pressure on my opponent. If I would have known, the 2K wasn't legal. Dev says he just wanted to look like you. That's absolutely fair, Devs. All right, 9K swing, still keeping the pressure on, gets a 2K, pass back to the turn. See, now, had I actually not had to fight in a 2K, I could have got some massive card advantage here. Looks like Sanji's a pick, so we're already in Sanji land territory. We're going to see probably another Goldie Roger off the top, either that or a nice little Linlin. We'll see what Clark follows up with. 10 Dawn turn. Tapping the 9. Here comes Sanji off the top. Goldie Roger. So now, legal Goldie Roger put in a nice little 8K. Got an 8K swing into life. No blockers here. Gonna activate leader, put it back down to 7. Give it 2 and a 1. Oh, sorry. No, I didn't have to because I got 1 because of I'm at 7. Sorry. 10K gonna take the hit. Passing back. Now finally at 10. Need to see the Ben Beckman combo. If I'm gonna get back in this game, I've got to start putting some pressure on the board, and I need to see the Ben Beckman. Now, mind you, I think this game would have been over if I would have got those 2 swings in, because I don't think Clark would have had the resources. Currently at 7 cards in hand. Need to put up some blockers if I want to survive one more turn. So perfect turn right here would have been a nice play to get into, let's see, Ben Beckman, 10 cost rush Shanks, Uda. Going in for 10, looking for some counter for the 8. Get a Gum Gum Giant. Got to fight into an 8K body here. Can use the rest to swing in for the Yasop swing if I want to. Looking like we're going for the Ben Beckman to the 10 cost. Giving 1K minus to the board. Making encounters a little bit easier anyways. Could use a 4 for another blocker. We saw the Lucky Ruse in hand here. Nothing going to pop, sadly, but can still get a nice little blocker if necessary. It looks like the 12K is going to be the only thing that puts in the pressure. 12 to life. Clark on the take. Does have a chance to ramp. Decides not to. 4 for Lucky Roo. Passing back. Clark, 2 life to fight through. 4 massive swings. 2 blockers. Needs to find an answer to get rid of at least one of these blockers. Does have the Yasops. Or the Usohachis to rest if he needs to. Yep, right off the top there. But does mean he's got to lose the 2K from hand if he wants to play it. And might just need as much 2Ks as possible. Clark thinking, is this a turn I try to go for the offensive? Can I go for the offensive? Currently on board. If he doesn't change the blocker rates, I am safe for attacks here. And Boa, the play here, instantly freezing the Shanks. Ouch, that hurts. Preventing the attack next turn. Offensive, just a little bit weaker. Here comes the first swing. 9. Looking like I have some counter in hand, not much. Debating on where I want to take. Here's a take. He's got the open Dawn, so I definitely don't want to fall victim to the no life swing here. Here comes 10 into 10. Gives it a 1. 6 into life. Leader ability. Making it 5. Ben Beckman of no value here. Pushing on to 6. 12 to life. There's a block. All I had to do is make sure I could keep my characters alive. Pass back. Shanks, sadly, not going to get an attack. Yasop, Ben Beckman, Shanks and Shanks. 1 life. My opponent still 7 cards in hand. And here comes the moment. How am I going to win this turn? Everything's on the line here. I know I can't afford to go counter swing. Anything into the board is going to be absolutely a non-bow. Too much of a Dawn investment to even get through the 7 cards in hand. How many cards in hand? He's got 7. What's the most counter he possibly have? Usually around 8k counter. What's the best attack strategy? What's the best number? Can I go 10, 10, 10 to swing in here to get through all the counter that he has left? Baby, is that the answer? We got to find out. We got so many different options, but right now, this is the turn. Can I survive next turn? Can I put enough blockers? Absolutely not the option here. Need to find a way. Playing to the cards, is that the option? How much Dawn taken away by playing to the character cards? I need enough attack power to swing in and close this game out now. But let's think about it. Xander, welcome to the chat. Welcome to see you. Good to see you, Bruhane. Good to see you on YouTube land as well, guys. This is it. This is the turn, the make, the break, the deals here. What can we do? How is a Dawn investment going to work? And can I punch through? No blockers on Clark's side. 6 power on his leader. What are the best swings to guarantee I connect twice? Best options looking like 10, 10, 10, and 7. Debating. Pump up the leader for 6. Not going to be good. Too much of a Dawn investment and too much Dawn loss to it. Don't have another Ben Beckman play to get the nice big combo here. While 6 Dawn does pump up my leader to 2, I don't have another 10 cost rush. Where absolutely would have been the best option here would be to Yasop swing, get the Ben Beckman swing, or get a Ben Beckman into another 10 cost rush here, and possibly close things out. As that would have given me a 6k body, 4 defense, and another rushing body for 12. Sadly, I don't have it. Looking like 10, 10, 10, 7 is the option right now. Going 4, gonna minus. Give Sanji an additional minus. Gum Gum Giant. Pitching Galdino on top. There's a counter for 11. Now the Dawn is out of the way. Need 2 more of these to connect. Checking with him on the discard. Just verifying. $10K swing. Does it connect? $6 Dawn remaining. Clark thinking, do I take? What do I need? Debating. Does he take here? Does he counter? Countering, leaving me with a lot of options here. Takes. 2K. Added to hand. What's the best attack strategy? Do I go 6 and 11? Do I go 10 and 7? Both require an equal amount of 2Ks. But if his hand's full of 1Ks, 10 and 6, or sorry, 10 and 7 would be the best attack strategy if it's a bunch of 1Ks. Can't go back now. Playing defensive wall is not going to be the answer. Cannot defend against 5 massive swings with 10 full dawn from Clark. Need to pull the trigger. Here comes the 10. Does he have it? He has it. And the 7. Does he have it? The final 2K out of hand. Clark has it. Cleaned house with all 4 counters. 4 2Ks in hand. Able to close the game with just enough 2Ks. Meaning, had I caught that little plus, I could have won this game. Had I caught that, I could have won this game. Read your cards. It's important, guys. Read your cards. It's important. But also, as Clark told me after this match, that was literally the last bit of counter. He had no counter left. Had exactly enough 2Ks to counter out of that match. Yeah. We're talking about the game, but all good fun. Clark, fantastic player. Great matchup here. Not going to be able to do it. Going to take... try to freeze his board. He doesn't take it. He's like, no, red doesn't do that. I saw just freeze his board. He can't attack. Great matchup here for this game. It was still a lot of fun to play. The importance to reading the cards is shown case right here. If anything, you don't even need to take losses when you don't need to. Obviously, if I would have got those 2 swings, I'd have gotten the counter out of hand, and he wouldn't be able to swing, wouldn't be able to defend against the alpha swings during that turn. So a lot of things could have gone my way. I could have had another rush ace in hand because I did have a Ben Beckman in hand. So I could have played out the 2 card to get that combo out. Obviously the new 10 cost is going to make this deck a little bit stronger here. Not a lot of difference in what you would have saw in this matchup because it really wouldn't have had any factor. Clark was never walling up because of the Goldie Roger threat that looms in this deck. So good on him for not walling up or getting himself in a situation where that could have been a threat and an option for him to win. That's still phenomenal time. I love playing Clark. He's a great guy, good fun guy. I know he's not cheating. We're just not reading the cards. We all make these play mistakes, guys. And honestly, if there's anything to learn from this, RTFC. RTFC. Xander, I got to get you added to the wheel here, and we got to close it out for the night. This is it. Good night. Good fun time with everybody. I wish it was more rounds, seriously, because I'm enjoying doing 4 rounds, but as time allots right now, I'm just not there. Soon we'll have the time. I'll record some of my own matches. I'll have some fun getting ideas for stuff to play out there because your boy here is practicing for the Flame Plane tournament that's coming up here in September. I'm going to be trying my best with the best deck that I think. Right now, Green Shanks is pulling my leg. Right now, it's pulling my interest. It's telling me it's the strongest. It's saying, play me, and it might be the way that I go. I like Shanks. He's a great character. It's one of my favorite characters out there in One Piece. I like to carry this as a nice little memento. It's one of my favorite pulls ever was the wanted poster for Shanks. I really enjoy the character. I don't have a whole lot of memorabilia for him, but I do find him to be great. A lot of fun. All right, we got the wheel set up. Everybody ready? All the names from YouTube added. Everybody, Bruhane, got to get you on there. You bandwagons, man. I'm trying to play to win. Do you have any idea how many times, like 3 wins in that tournament? 3 back-to-back wins in that tournament, and I'm walking away with enough money to cover the entire trip down to Dallas and back. The entire trip. Just 3 wins. I get 4 wins, now I'm in profit. I get 5 wins. Oh my God, I don't even know what to do with myself. I have to get there. The chances of me getting there, not great. I don't do well in best of 1 formats. I do well in best 2 out of 3. Get this, guys. When I get to play more cards, I do better. So when I play more games, I do better. Crazy, I know, it's unbelievable. Copying my green control side, I might be. Honestly, it's just the paper looks so strong right now for Shanks. I'm a big fan of the character. I'm a big fan of the way the deck plays. It just looks right now as the OP17 leader for one of the best decks to play. Is it going to be? I don't know. And all the cards are released yet. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what's going to be playing. Maybe Whitebeard actually has some really good stuff to it. We'll test it out. I like to play red. You guys don't like to play red, but honestly, looking on paper, oh, that green stuff looks so good. It just looks so good. And I want to play it. I hear the voices too, Jimmy. Yes, only Doombot. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's telling us that we need to go into green Shanks. I was planning on playing green control when it was bad. I mean, yes, Sai, I'm not going to deny that. I've seen you play the best green decks. You've won with the best green decks. You won the first pirate championship that we had. You end up winning with Zoro. So I mean, I know that's good, but it's not just your beauty, Sai. It's not just how amazing you are as a person that says I need to play green Shanks. It's also, it's a really strong deck. It's a really good deck. It has like nothing to counter it. It's just insane. It's just too strong, guys. And am I copying you? Yes. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, Sai. It's the highest form of flattery. You should be flattered beyond your beliefs that I want to copy you and be like you. And I want so badly to win 3 rounds to make just enough money back on the 1 promo card I can get for 3 wins and play my luck to get those other higher promos. And the lottery of lotteries, play for the flame through, which would be insane. Sai says it's balanced. Right now, Sai, as it stands, it's overpowered to whatever thing else we've seen so far. As we've seen. Oh, he's trying to gatekeep. Okay, so Sai's trying to gatekeep. Okay. That's why he doesn't find a flattery. He wants to gatekeep. Okay. Good call. Oh man, but seriously, on paper right now, this thing looks the strongest. Now, will card reveals change that? Absolutely. We don't even know what the blue leader is. We don't know what the 12 cost enablers are yet, outside of 1, and that's from the set anyways. I think it's Zombie Luffy, but there's no other enablers out there that we've seen that really seem to make Luffy seem to be the desirable. Kaido looks fun. Don't get me wrong, it looks fun, but it doesn't look unbeatable. Big Mom actually looks secondarily the strongest out of all of them, to be honest with you. That constant choice is kind of annoying, but that's yellow. And as I told you guys, you live by the trigger, you die by the trigger. I don't want to put more chance onto what I'm going to be playing in this flame through. I want to play with something that has consistency, that has ways for me to deal with what my opponent's throwing at me, and something that can help me potentially have the best chance of getting at least 3 wins in the first 3 rounds. Sai says, if it's OP13 emu situation, then blue could be meta definer. That's actually, honestly, he's right. Sai's right about that. The blue one could be the most incredibly good, strong deck. Bonita used emu in 13, and it was the last leader released. Good callback. Good callback, Sai. Yeah, I mean, that is actually something you should, like, I've been telling people for a long time, pattern recognition. You guys got to recognize the patterns. Bandai just does the same stuff over and over again. And Oda does the same thing over and over again. The timeline cycles itself. You guys are paying attention to the cycles of the story. It cycles. So pattern recognition, I mean, that's dead on. Maybe the blue leader is going to be the best deck. Who knows? We got a couple months before OP13 or 17 though. All right, let's check out the wheel. Let's give away these packs. Let's call it a night. All right, starting off here, the wheel is set. Let's find out who's going away with pack number 1. All bossness. All bossness with the win. Congratulations. Got to remove him twice here. Can only win one pack for the night. But you can always enter twice by going up to YouTube, just like only Doombot and All Bossness did. All right, here's your pack, All Bossness. Let's see what you got. Yes, I think blue might be the deck of choice. Who knows? It might be something that we all should look into. Look like I got a leader pack. I could see a red sleeve in there. But as we know in this set, leaders don't mean jack. Jesus Burgess, Dolph-Flamingo, Dracula Mihawk, Arlong, Tony Chopper. A lot of words. The Benevolent King of the Waves, Thatch, Kozuki Mononosuke, Sengoku, our first rare, Mr. 2, Kirei Kirei. This is the one I fear the most in that deck, honestly. This is the biggest card I fear from Goofy. Oh, Monkey D. Luffy. Okay. All right, double rare pack. We have to get through them at some point, guys. Got to get through the rares. Because you know, in a community box, while you do get every single hit that's going to be in the box, you also get these. It's one of the things where, how many of you guys feel like boxes are kind of like a negative EV on buying? I'm not talking about like keeping it sealed versus opening them. I'm just saying, personally, I find buying small packs at a time versus getting a box to be a higher return. And that's what I'm thinking about. Like, personally, I've been talking to River about this, and we've been noticing when I get smaller packs, I get a higher return because I get like one hit out of 6 packs just feels better than the 2 or 3 hit boxes you get out of a box. And then hoping that those hits can pay for the full value of the box. And especially when you're paying, like, I don't have to pay at market prices, but if you're paying market prices, good grief. I feel like it's just better to buy a couple packs at a time. I don't know, that's me personally. What do you guys think? All right. Final pack for the night. Let's see who's walking away a winner. Devs 502 with the win. Congratulations. Devs, here you go, buddy. Let's see if you got the last alt art from the box. If it is the last alt, that means we're going to have to start inserting some random packs in here just to get the box of value again. We've already given out quite a few of them. Dolph-Flamingo, Rosinante, Ushimaru, Mole, and Emporio Avankov, Mr. 3, Galdino, Captain Buggy's Our Savior, Bartholomew Kuma, Marshall D. Teach, Nico Robin. I collect the crap out of these, by the way. Black Vortex, Little Oars Jr., Yamato. Damn. Double rare pack. I was hoping to do better than double rare pack. Maybe an SR or something. All right. Well, like I said, guys, you got to go through the the rare packs. It sucks. I hate it. Pass it on to the first winner. Okay, Devs, we'll do. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That was the second pack, Refusa. I did have you on there. Didn't I? No, Bruhane. And you just missed it, Refuser. Yeah. It's okay, Refusa. It's all right. We're going to have more streams. What you missed out on 2 double rare packs. There's still, that means you're getting closer and closer. Told me he won a pack, and I'm like, WTF? Yeah, there's 8 packs left. There's 8 packs left in our community box here. Should be at least one more hit left. A lot of SRs left, too. SRs that I truly believe are going to go up. If you guys would have been there as part of the financial thing I was talking about, you should be getting your 2 or your 4 ofs of everything right now. Get it right now while it's cheap. Trust me, you don't want to be sitting in the Cavendish situation, the Electric Claw situation that people are dealing with right now, the Perona situation that people are dealing with. Guys, don't let yourself ever fall victim when you could have got it for $2. You didn't. Do it. When it's cheap like it is now, get the 4 ofs of every single card, because trust me, these cards will see play. Some of them will see play in the future, and they'll be hot demand cards, and you'll be saying, man, I had like 8 copies of that. What'd I do with it? Hopefully you didn't throw it away. All right, let's see who is in the creator market for today. Oh, good. We got a good healthy amount of people here. Oh, Cross AI is on. Good. Wait, what's he doing in One Piece? Dodgers Luffy giveaway. Oh, okay, cool. He's got a Dodgers Luffy giveaway. All right, I like giveaways. Say hi to Cross AI. I believe his is a adult content, but it's late at night, so I'm sure if you're adult, you can see this thing. One of the great representatives for us at the One Piece card game, someone I'll probably be running into when I go to the Flame tournament. So say hi and wish him good luck for me. It's been a great night. I really appreciate all of you. Don't forget, next Monday we're going live, but of course this Saturday we got the anniversary set, massive packs to give away for Gundam. This weekend we've got the Union Arena. Going to be recording some content for the One Piece stuff. All kinds of fun stuff coming your way, guys. We got some awesome content, and hopefully even more stuff to give away. Let's hope. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for being here as always, and you guys know, as always, to stay humbro. What? I can't see it. I'll just have to use YouTube. No. Bye.
They're gonna make at least $5. I feel like $5, like, it's not that crazy.
Hey, YouTube.